Well, hi everybody. Just gonna drink some coffee to start with. I know it's not even 7, so I don't expect everyone to be online and ready or even as awake as I am. Hey Mako, good to see you. Hey Corey, good to see you too. Anyone get up to any mischief on this first working week bit back after a holiday? I mean, my holiday. Hey Luxie, good to see you too. Nice to have a bunch of people just turn up and say hi as soon as we start. That's gratifying. I like that. Now, I'll give like a brief warning. I'm tired today. I got back to work and there was a queue of about 40 things for me to look at when I started. That's not terrible. I'm absolutely capable of going through that and getting it done. Oh, Luxie, now where did you get that, huh? And so I did a lot of work really fast to get some things done. We had a whole bunch of other things come in, and I gotta say, I did not miss being stressed about work. Thanks. Cheers. So Marvel has picked up on my tiredness as well, and she's misbehaving as much as possible. So you may hear some grumbling and mumbling from a four-legged friend. I don't think Emma will be grumbling and mumbling. She's a two-legged friend. Mhm. Anyway, about work stress, like I certainly didn't miss it at all. On the trip back from Sydney last Monday, sorry, last Sunday, the day before the stream, I was listening to a podcast with my girlfriend, and on the drive back, and it was really interesting, really fascinating. I really enjoyed listening to Ologies with Ali Ward, specifically the two episodes on fear. And when the guest ologist, so studier, said stress is just fear, I went, oh fuck, it is. And of course it is. It's a low level fear. It's anxiety. It's what just seeps in. But it put a couple of things into place, and I'm trying to spread that message as much as possible. Not just sharing the podcast, but sharing that thought as well, because it's pretty important to consider the idea that if stress is fear, and physiologically it is, apparently, I'm not an expert in studying it and experiencing it, maybe. If stress is fear, then a job that causes you stress is causing you low levels of fear all day. And I sincerely did not miss not having that in the job. And I'm pretty sure I will be in a state where I'm not having that again very shortly indeed. And that means perhaps the normalization of stress in the workplace is really fucking bad. So join a union, and you have nothing to lose but your team's workers for the world. I had to do that. Oh, that's pretty good. It was the rules, Emma, Larkson says. Thank you. You had a good thing about the stress cycle's role in survival evolutionarily. I'm not gonna ask you to type it all out, but that is pretty interesting. So if you want to let us know, that would be pretty cool. I can only surmise it is in some way related to the anxiety cycle, right? Having it around can help you get through some things so you don't explode and die. That's good. We don't want to explode and die. Or get eaten by a mammoth that was rebooting. Good to see you. We missed you last week. I hope you're well, and hopefully you caught up on the VOD as well. And especially given that we picked up your favorite companion, and hopefully you can see her alive and well. Not that everyone came out alive and well at some point in the last stream, right? It's fine. We loaded a save and Grieving Mother got ganked. I've got my water and coffee and other more sweeter drink as well. Because I'm just one of those people that always need to be doing something with my mouth, and I'd rather be drinking water or water-like substance compared to like a delicious treat of some sort, because I will eat that treat for as long as possible until there's none of it left or I cannot have any more. No Batman here. Well, thanks, everybody. Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry Mondays don't work for you super well. Um, it does mean that when you're not able to, not in the mood or not able to see people, you can always tune in here, and that's a plus. We'll have you whenever you've not got something else to do. Okay? Soon, probably Wednesday night, I'll be doing a whole bunch of fan work as well. Rewriting a bunch of my role playing game after the playtest and review, and then doing a bit more work to email out to everyone and say, hey, by the way, we need your blood real soon, as I promised I would. And it's always gratifying to see we have um, loads coming in, people excited about the con, and really getting more and more hype as we go on. It's going to be good fun. Something good to watch when you're playing Stardew. Yeah, that's fantastic. I would watch more streams or video content at work while I'm just busy doing stuff. But the reception's really bad in my office. It's not like anyone else would care as long as I'm getting things done and I'm happy to share what I'm watching. But the reception is so bad in my office that I often don't get messages or what I really want. Anyway, we're about 7:05. Let's get started, everyone. I've got pillars open. Honestly, globes are hard. Yeah, I know. That's why we have groups. We have a group or two that will work on them with you together. Oh, the text wall. Thanks, Lux. That's good, though. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about cider I tasted on Sunday night, and it is your job, chat, to tell me if you can hear me fine over the music, and we'll do another test when combat starts. Okay? So I have a particular cider brewery that I particularly enjoyed. The they're in Tasmania, so very South Australia, very south, the most southern part of Australia. That state. And they're quite a specific brewery that deal in cider, frozen tail, and apple and other things. The first one I had was an apple and cherry named Cersei, and it is honestly gorgeous. I gave a bottle to Lexi at some point under a recommendation that she would enjoy it, and it turned out quite well. And then just yesterday, I found another one of theirs, an extra shiny limited edition version, which was their apple and blueberry, and it was way more subtle than the cherry. You think cherry flavored thing, you think the awful sort of fake cherry flavor. Luckily, that's not what we had. The cherry version is actually quite nice and gentle and deep, and but the blueberry was quite a lot more subtle and hard to like get much of the taste other than the apple. At least that's what I was getting. And again, I was also having some I was having some also like mulled apple cider, so it's entirely possible that it was drowned out, and I need to have another bottle at some point. So I look forward to finding it again. Now that short, not very organized story told, can everyone hear me okay, or shall we adjust something? Genuine cherries, yeah. It's really good. Definitely a blueberry, okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, chat. Let's click the continue button. Let's play some pillows. Oh yeah, in the last little while we hit the Twitch is no longer keeping your recordings for as long as it can because you're not famous enough. And I don't blame them for that. There are a lot of people streaming all the time on their platform. They can't keep everyone. But it does mean that whenever you're referring all of your friends to a playthrough, which you should because you guys are having a lot of fun, and so am I, you're gonna need to send them to the YouTube link as well, which is in the Twitch channel. You can see it at the very bottom there. Otherwise, they're just going to jump in the middle. And honestly, that may not be a bad idea. Remember, the first episode is me with a cold, and there's like 5 minutes of me messing about with OBS, trying to figure out how the damn thing works. Sneaky subscribe. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we're in. Let's go.
Hey.
Remember, last time we finished our little session by dealing with some feral druids over here. There was a significant fight. We needed to make 2 attempts because they killed us really bad. Rebooting, yeah, exactly. We picked up Sagani while you were away. And I gotta say, we're really glad to have Itimak and Sagani along.
Sure.
Not only because they seem to be much more efficient at dealing damage than our lost friend Kana, who will return, don't worry. Let's point out something. Let's start with a little bit of dialogue, because essentially last session what we did was do the first 5 layers of the... hey, good to see you. Yeah, exactly, rebooting. I'm looking forward to some anime dialogue between the 2 of them. We did the first 5 levels of Endless Paths of Blood Noir, just because it's fun. It's a good way to start. Just do a bit of dungeon, and then left and picked up Sagani, and then did some more map completion. That's about it. Soon we will go to... I think today we will go to Defiance Bay. Little white cat fellow, that's our friend Itimak. He's a white fox. He goes, woof, apparently. Yeah.
Hey.
And... yeah, I did kill God.
Of course.
Mako is right. I kill God whenever I can. I have been reading the Pillars of Eternity. So we did some map completion and fought some druids, and that's honestly about it. We'll continue doing some map completion for a bit, and then go to Defiance Bay. Just like exploring. This is a good way to kill some time. We also want to go back to our keep before it gets attacked. Stronghold. We've completed construction of some Eastern Barbican, but event in 3 days and 3 hours. Shades and Lurkers will attack. We better be there, otherwise it will auto resolve for us. That may not turn out well. So I've been reading the Pillars of Eternity guidebook that I picked up, and it's one really good. I finished the first volume. They released the second for the sequel, and I haven't finished it yet. It's really nice to go through and read. That's a plus. I love those word building. I love when you get like a setting Bible or a large chunk of lore like that. So I've got the whole bestiary as well, which you can access here, but it's nice to have it in another sense. And it doesn't have a game stats, just the lore for it. Gamer guide, no. Luckily not. Graphical glitches and such, but nothing game breaking. Okay, I'm glad to see it. And the guidebook itself, like the setting book, specifically mentions something that they patched out of ranges because it was awful. And I'm really glad they did. In the guidebook, it says that rangers and their animal companions' souls are entwined, and so often when a ranger's companion dies, they'll take ages to reform that bond with another, and may not be able to. And sometimes it even kills them. We just discovered Eora Man. There's something here. We'll use that in a moment when I finish monologuing. So it used to be a mechanic that when the your animal companion's endurance and a character's endurance, that combat music is real loud. Yeah, let's try that. You would share the same endurance bar, and that meant very often Itimak would just take damage because Sagani did. And then if Itimak just got hit by an AoE, you'd lose them really fast. And it wasn't fun to have any rangers in the party because they'd run the risk of just dying without much warning at all. And so it got patched out. Not the earliest patch, but one of them. They just said, we're not going to share endurance bars like that anymore because it's just no fun. Ranger gets an effect and the companion goes down. That's much better, right? And also, when the companion goes down, they don't die. They get knocked out like everyone else, and they get up afterwards and they're okay. And that's much more fun. That's an idea of when your lore, and a very interesting lore, especially the soul bound being together, is like an excellent way to say why can rangers have a pet but I can't, even if I've trained them from birth. Well, because your souls aren't linked together. Okay, we know souls exist in this setting. That's one to conceive. So if you did have your soul bound to an animal, you'd be a ranger then, wouldn't you? That's a really good way to. Oh, we've got another companion here. So I'll finish that before we talk to Eora. So that's letting your lore and your setting get in the way of a fun experience, and that happens. Fields of Eternity. Here we. Um, that happens a lot. Um, Especially when people. I don't mean to throw stones, but especially when people try to adapt other properties to role playing and tabletop games, they'll go for how, like, the surface areas of what the game or movie or anime or TV show or whatever makes you feel, but don't cover how that will actually translate to, like, what it's like instead of how it feels. Um, Playing Pillars of Eternity really feels like reading a book a lot of the time. Because there's so much dialogue, right? That's why I'm spending so much time voice acting on each characters. Yeah, even our voiced NPCs, when they don't have voiced lines, I'm trying to do their voice. Because we get closer to an audiobook experience. And we like that. But if we were to play the tabletop version of this, it'd be different, right? It'd be mostly the combat, because all the mechanics in the game, nearly all of them, are pass-fail if they're dialogue choices, depending on your stats, or they're combat, right? So the tabletop game that they wrote and released just for free, if you like it, whatever, it's fun. Go Josh Sawyer. And, like, I wouldn't use their system to run a game like this. In fact, I wouldn't do it as a tabletop because it's super hard to make it feel the same way. I'd use the setting though, absolutely, because I love Eora. Anyway, let's talk to this character. Chewing a piece of uncooked meat, a small Orlan dressed in tattered leathers offers a mumbled greeting and waves his hand. Despite his pleasant smile, the upper right portion of his face is in a sorry state. An eye patch stitched with a stylized eyeball wraps around his head, and his ear is a mangled remnant that twitters and spasms while the other ear perks up at your approach. Next to him is the splayed carcass of a deer that appears ripped open by a bear or wolf. You hear a gurgling rumble next to you. Zergania places her hand on his stomach. Her eyes are on the carcass. Still fresh. Utamak's pink tongue lolls out of his mouth.
If this is your deer, you need a new game warden. Name's Heravius. Hungry? I can't eat all this. First catch of the day, help yourself.
He smiles, but the senior intendant dangle from his bloody lips. With one good eye twinkles. Taking a step back, he spreads his arm wide, presenting the carcass to you. Metal. Yeah, thanks, Reboot. You're handling these questions from Kibble incredibly well. Yeah, there's a sequel. I love it to bits. Deadfire is really good. So, yeah. I was going to say, sadly, you might want to cook that first.
And ruin the original texture? That's the best part! Just see for yourself.
He chuckles and wipes deer bits from his lips. Turning his attention to the corpse, he plunges his hand into the deer's vivisected abdomen. Vivisected? It was still alive and he started to pull its bits out? That's mean, Herovis. You should finish your kill first. I'm excited to do Pillars 2. The game engine is a lot better in a lot of circumstances, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's no romance in Pillars 1. Just because Chris Avellini does not like romance, and I think he was talked into it in the sequel. That's good. He's known for being a bit of a dick as well, so. Same here at Grieving Mother.
Eat up!
Chat, please, our first question of the day. 1, 2, or 3. Are we gonna eat this raw deer with our new friend here of yes? 1 vote for eat. Two vote for eat, 1 vote for after you. Which is pretty sassy. I do like that for our good friend Flame Shadows. It's specifically the end of the deer sentence. Okay, we've got 3 votes to eat. We're gonna eat. Let's go. Ah, 2 votes for 3. Okay, it's pretty close, but let's get our shuffle on and go with eat it.
Gods no! Don't eat it! I assumed you realized I was being a churlish ponce. I applaud your bravery, but unless you've a cast iron stomach, I don't recommend eating the feces tube.
Right? So, rebooting had it exactly right. Specified it as the end of a deer's innards. Yeah. As you reach out to grab it, he snaps his hand back with a solid laugh. He chuckles and drops a massive viscera. I applaud your bravery. Yeah, he said it. Alright, what killed that deer?
One ornery Stelgar. Though looking at the deer's insides, it had a malformed but delicious heart, and would have been dead within the year regardless.
He chuckles and scratches the stump of his half-severed right ear.
Gallowayne chose a fitting end for this fine animal. Pardon me. I shouldn't pray with my mouth full.
Gallowayne being one of the divinities. I don't think we're allowed to eat right now. So tell me about Gallowayne.
Lord of the Hunt, patron of all seekers. I'm the wrong person to ask.
His voice falls flat. He brushes his hair aside, allowing a closer examination of his eye patch. A stylized pattern of an eye is embroidered on the worn leather.
As a child, I would worship Gallowayne in hopes of being a great hunter. But I have since come to know Wow, he who sees and is not seen.
So what brings you here, buddy?
Other than the delicious venison, new trees to document, new animals to sketch, new sights to be seen. I've learned as much as I can from the druids of my circle. I'd rather wander and learn than take root and stagnate. So if you're traveling to Deerwood and need another set of hands, I'd welcome the safety of a group.
Go on.
I'm trained by the celebrants of Hawk and Ivy of the Fisher Crane tribe. I know more than my share of nature magic, and, well, I don't shy away from a good fight. I have business with the druids that live near Twin Elms. So long as we find ourselves there eventually, I'm happy to follow along.
You're welcome to join us here, yes.
Splendid! It'll be an honor to run with a pack for a change.
He darts forward and grabs you by the side. This is not map we picked up anyone else. You get the boot, right? So that's a decent question, right? Are we dropping anyone? Maybe? Here's a druid. He's absolutely a druid. Druid level 5. We're all level 5. Wouldn't be a bad idea. In a D&D sense, we could drop Durance and pick up Paravius and have a bit of healing, right? Just drop Durance for those two. But druids don't focus on healing in Pillars. I think let's drop Durance and see how it goes, just for a little bit. Now, even if we just hit accept, he'd go all the way back to Cadenor and we wouldn't have an issue at all. Durance,
You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
it's been fun, we'll have you back soon. Paravius, let's go. Paravius is a druid. Starts with a spear. Level 5. From Eaglanfarth and is a drifter. As you can see, his might's pretty good. His intelligence is higher than I would imagine. And he's got lots of survival. I mean, that makes sense, right? Turning into things is exactly right. Mechanics, lore. We're not actually missing that much in the skill section by not having Durance along. He's got the ability to shift into the Stelgar, which I will show you soon. Again, he's not equipped incredibly well. Just a regular fine spear. I think we could do better. Magic stick. Yeah, yeah. And I want to give him the hide armor, just so he can do recovery a little faster and cast a bit more spells. When he's in combat, it won't matter anyway. Only we could give him Atlas gear. And promise Durance can come back. I like Durance. I like having him in the party. He's a jerk, but he's worth it. Right. That's pretty good for now until we get into combat. We may want to check his spells as well. None of these are healed. No, poison disease effects is pretty good. I got rapid regeneration effect on really close party members. Summon a flame blight, sword. damage reduction, some buff, a little bit of healing as well. Increases max endurance, not bad. We'll keep that in try. Also got a dialogue option with Sagani, so let's give her a chat too. Sagani draws up beside you, her fox following her heel, and puts his feet next to you.
Even if you are putting one over on me, it's nice to have a hunting party again.
Sounds like you've been gone from home a long time.
5 years for me. Must be 30-something for Ichimak.
What an adventure!
It certainly started out that way. It's been a long hunt.
She adjusts the bow over
Long
his shoulder.
time away from my family. Before, I'd crossed the tundra of Nasitok following caribou herds. I didn't want to leave Kalu and our children, but I was eager to visit lands my people rarely do. But 5 years without finding him. It's like 2 hours of necking. I'm ready to be done with it.
Necking meaning making out, so she's horny to stop. So, why do you have to find Pasok?
Soul recovery is an old village tradition. We call it the Tarnek Ilitsak. Once in a generation, we seek the soul of a much respected and long dead village elder. We tell him what's changed in the village, how people remember him. The only other Tarnek Ilitsak during my lifetime happened when I was a girl, not long after Persok died. We feasted on blubber and fermented milk for a week.
Jeez.
And we honored the chosen huntress as a hero.
That's cool, right?
Then she left, and we returned to our duties. We still sang her name to the skies during festival season, but we otherwise didn't speak of her.
This is a good thing to think about when you're considering cultural fears. As a personal inspiration for this character, she is currently quite afraid that she is forgotten in the same way that this other person was. Great inspiration. She'd be from Northwood. Yeah, because she's a dwarf. And a ranger too, so instead we get an Arctic fox, and we get an interesting Inuit culture that doesn't appear to be, like, separate from the world as well. They go on this quest. They're not kept aside magically separated from the rest of the world. They're actually integrated, and there are dwarves from the boreal, the white that wends, just around, because they're not kept separate. They're not supposed to be... yeah, exactly, Lexi. They're not isolated in a way that makes them a fantastic thing to be experienced from the east. They're not tokenized or orientalized in some way, you know? They're not, then their culture is different, but it's not mysterious for the sake of it. That's a plus. I'm sure your village still remembers you, Sagani, because let's not be a jerk. We like her. Exotified! Thank you. Exactly, Rebidding. Thank you. You're kind to say so, but I'm not so fragile that I need my name chanted in meeting halls.
It's not being forgotten by my village that troubles me. But sometimes I wonder how my husband and children remember me, if they think of me often.
Hey chat, what do you think? 1, 2, or 3 on this one? I've been making a couple of decisions on this one to keep the ball rolling, but because, you know, I'm ranting enough as is. But what do you think? That must be difficult, or of course they do, they must, and returning to them is what matters. One vote for 3, one vote for 1 or 2. Pretty good. It's okay to not have a strong opinion. Got a couple of votes for 1. I think you're going to go in that direction. Understanding if the solutions are oriented. Yeah.
Still, there's no point in dwelling on it. More often I find myself wondering whether Persok will remember us. You claim to see souls. What do you think? Do you remember your past lives?
Sorry, Jimbles. I missed that a little bit. It's entirely possible you're on a longer delay, so I will give you more time for decisions. I think no, not clearly. We're not sure yet. I figured most people don't anyway. I suppose that's why I'm supposed to remind Polsok of what he left behind in the village. What would you tell him about your village?
Masuk is probably much the same as it was 100 years ago. We live between tundra and frozen forests, and the land takes as much as it gives. But our hardships bring us together. And the elders truly unite us. They keep the stories of past generations, and they guide us from season to season, through good years and lean.
Peter brushes against her hip, and she scratches his head. Recently, there have been a lot of good years. My aunt said that we've had fewer clashes with neighbouring villages thanks to the hunting territories that Basok helped establish. In bad years, we relied on trade with the merchants that passed our shores. We exchanged walrus tusks and seal pelts for grains that lasted the hard winters. Basok brokered a lot of those agreements too. She holds up the bear figurine. He got this from one of their Amwama ships that used to trade with us. How dismissive. So mean. Number 3 there just sucks. Right? Sounds like you did a lot for your people.
That's what I'm supposed to remind him.
She shoves the Adra back in her caribou skin pack. Sounds like you're on a hunt of your own, though. You feeling the thrill of the chase, or ready for this to be all over? I enjoy the adventure. Every day brings something new. Aristocrat. That's refreshing to hear, especially from someone who didn't grow up in a camp. Remember? She rises and stretches, looking around. Might as well keep moving while we've got some daylight. You gotta take the opportunity to talk to your people when you can. Right? Your companions are there for a reason. If we didn't want people to have their own opinions and be able to talk to us and have their own stories, we would just generate those adventures at the tavern and go from there. Had a whole party. Icewind Dale is like that. Baldur's Gate has like predefined characters. Nothing here. But Icewind Dale makes you create a whole party, which wants to save them a whole bunch of writing costs, that's for sure. But the whole game itself is like less fondly remembered. Icewind Dale is much less fondly remembered because the characters there are missing something. If you created them, they can't have their own backstories. When I created a party for Icewind Dale, I actually wrote a backstory for all of them in my head, and I really appreciate them, and I reused them in other games. But you know, exactly right, rebooting, and we can always wander back to Kainua and ask how people are going. We will do that with Durance soon. The bright sun casts light on a pattern in the ground. You kneel to get a better look. The stone here has been carved with a few simple shapes. A small circular indentation marks the center, and a much larger circle surrounds it. You see what happens to be writing, or what appears to be writing above the two circles. Look! It's shallow and smooth. Looks like it was intended to hold something specific. Something we probably don't have yet. Examine the outer circle. Several shapes have been carved along the outer ring. Though most have been worn away, you can make out a crescent above the center. Okay? Examine the writing. The characters are completely foreign to you, and they doubt the remnants of a long-forgotten language. Okay. Wait. You wait a few hours, marking the sun's journey across the sky. So, Laxi, we're going to wait again. And again. And that's enough, so let's not wait again. Honestly. It did pass time. What actually happens? Not sure. We waited long enough that it's now night. So, clearly enough, we need to put an item in the thing, right? We don't have the item, nothing happens. If you do this in a tabletop game, your players will kill you. They will spend ages trying to figure out exactly what the hell you're supposed to do there, and when you have no answer, they might kill you, right? Progress main story is that the rain stops and water goes down. Maybe. I'm not certain. Take you 20 hours to travel back. Let's do it. We're not in a hurry. Neverwinter Nights 2. Which characters irritate you rebooting? I hope this is not an interrogation, but tell me, who do you hate and like in Neverwinter Nights 2? I argue you can do it if it's clear that they don't have what they need. Yeah, that's true. I feel like...
Walls need some work before this place is secured. My husband could fix them right up.
Love it. Thank you, Sagani. You could. I just feel like the setup payoff would be difficult for It'd be hard to convince them that you really don't have what they need. It's got to be plain and obvious and make it not a puzzle. Then it could work. Yeah, good point. All right. Yeah, true. You'd have to. I think you'd have to work with the presentation. You can't do it the way they did it here, and that's the most I'll say definitively. I'm not an expert in role-playing games. I've just got opinions and I can say them because someone gave me a camera. I have the key. One day, 15 hours left. We're currently building 1 hour until the main cube is finished. Okay, good timing. We should have waited at the sundial for a little bit longer. Seems kind of specific,
Walls need some
Larksy.
work before this place is secure. My husband could fix them right up.
Sagani, you said that a little while ago. Main cube construction complete. Wander in. What does it look like all fixed up? Bishop. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They could have done a lot better with Bishop. Let's look at our main hall. Now it's been improved. Pretty cool, huh? I like it. Green shiny thing. Says that our main keep is finished construction. And in 1 day and 6 hours, we're going to have some shades. This is their current party. And we have enough money to start building something else. I don't think we need dungeons yet. We need a Bailey for a lot of these. Watcher's Lodge is pretty good. Storage doors for similar to orders to keep. These are just cosmetics. High level bounties is good. Quick way to get experience by building a Warden's Lodge and going to hunt specific creatures. But I think we need a merchant so we can sell things here. We don't quite have enough time to build barracks before the attack. Which will be fun. Anyway, we're building again. So, we spent a lot of time saying that, like, your other companions will just be hanging out in the main hall, and they should be. It's pretty weird. Because I'm not sure where they are. I guess the idea that you can speak to them here is because it's really easy to change party member. They'll be in Breezehome? Okay, thank you, rebooting. It has been a little while. In their rooms, okay. Should be a rain sound effect when we're outside and it's raining.
It's very nice. We're not sleeping here, are we?
It'd be mean. This is our home, Aloth. Want to be a snake girl, but fuck me evil. They do love... I feel like just making snake people evil for literally no reason. These are often a quest. Yeah. I don't remember how to start sending them off on adventures. I think... Nope. Nope. Yeah, there we go. You're right. Exactly. Thank you, rebooting. Look at this. It's cool. Cade Noir is a marvel. An ugly, crumbling marvel, but even so. Hey, be nice to Marvel. It's overshadowed by what it sits upon, but the keep itself can tell you much about the Adirian settlement. A very rigid people, I find. Thank you, exactly, rebooting. Glad to see that. Okay. How are you holding up? I'm ready if you are. Alright, tell me a little bit more about yourself, Connor. We're here to talk to you specifically, do a fight, then wander over to Defiance Bay.
What shall I tell? I am Kanarua, born in the royal city of Takoa, from which rules the Ranga Nui. There. That is a solemn enough start. I am a law chanter in the college there. Or at least a student of law and a chanter both.
It's interesting. Okay, let's say you don't look like you're from Rautai. Do I not? He grins crookedly. I take a meaning. My family is from the Deadfire Archipelago. but I've never seen the islands. My parents travelled to Rautai many years before I was born. They found more opportunity in Rautai. My mother took to crafting cannons, aspiring pirate that she is. Fucking cool. And my father's work with coral caught the eye of someone important, then the Ranganui himself. The rest followed. Would you like to know? Why'd you leave the college?
I was on the usual path at first. Theology, the traditions, when the Gate of Great Teeth was completed. It was all my father had hoped for. The greatest commission he had ever received.
Repeating, you're totally right. It's not just one Polynesian culture in the Deadfire Archipelago as well. They have two distinct differences in cultural expectations and development, as well as some colonizers who are dicks. Very specific. Taking up some gentle craft like making cannons. His mother is badass. That's so cool.
But it was also a sign that Rawatai was changing, looking inward. Meanwhile, I was neck deep in the writing of a dozen nations, marveling at all the things that lay beyond our borders.
And in so many of these books and records, I found accounts of ancient Engwith. The Adirians hold a hunger for Engwith and relics, and why shouldn't they? It was the civilization from which the Glenfathers learned to read souls. I decided that my third degree would be in history, and that I would study the Engwithans. They were at the heart of so much discussion abroad, so many discoveries. It drew some mockery. We watched Adia draw itself into several conflicts with Glenfathers over these ruins. Takawa had its own concerns. And soon I found it, a section of the Tanvi Oratoa, in an Adirian translation of ancient Edwixan script, just there, without explanation. It seemed like a gift from the gods. 2 degrees. Like, I couldn't do one, for Christ's sake, and he's got 3. My third degree should be in it. Hannah, I guess if your mother's like a successful cannon maker, you can just research all day. Anyway, tell me about the law chanters, buddy. My eldest brother thinks we spend our days in song, weaving wreaths from flowers. The truth is far less exciting than that. The college preserves what knowledge our people have gathered. I would have said that the law chanters are Rautai, for without them we would have no beginning, no sense of how far we've come. We would forget ourselves with every generation. I'm only a student yet. Well, someday I'll return and tell the keeper what I learned, and she will add my verses to the chant. We're a chanter. Do you think the White That Wins has a culture like this, or did we just pick a class that doesn't quite fit our background? What would we... How does our cultural interpretation of this class fit? That's a great world-building question. If you say that Twin Elms and the Grandfathers nearby have a lot of druids, okay, makes sense, sure. The follow-up question is, are all druids Glenfathen or from that area? I think you should say no. That's pretty fitty. Don't do that. But if the next thing is exactly, and a good name, but like, what does a druidic tradition look like among humans of the meadows? What does that look like? What do they do? How does it change? That's some world building gold. And as a GM, don't do it yourself. Let your players do it. Let them say, I'm going to be a tiefling druid. And you're like, cool, explain that to me. Now make them do it. Brilliant. What is this gate of great teeth? Much as it sounds, a maze of walls, like the teeth of some nautical terror. It sits outside the city and guards Takawa from invaders and storms. The storms have always been more trouble. Nui Tanri, the angry titans, throwing themselves against Rautai's shores. Invaders, not so sure about. But perhaps I'm like a man who, being dry, throws his rain cloak off during a storm. But perhaps I'm like the man who, being dry, throws off his rain cloak during a storm. I'm stumbling over that one, jeez. Yeah, exactly, repeating. It gets you attached to it too, right? Very important. Kind of laugh. So my mother would have me believe. Your mum thinks you're an idiot, huh? Shame. What's a Ranganui? A king, our great king, ruler over all of Rautai. He's led our people well, and he's treated my family very well. My father and he are great friends. As much as one can be friends with a king. No gods, no kings, Carlo. let's not go through everything all at once, okay? Because you will hit the edge of a dialogue tree and there'll be nothing more for a long time. We'll be back. We'll talk to him again soon. Kings of Bastards. Power centralized in a single place is just not a good idea, right? Kings even more so. Much to your dismay, we're going to talk to Durance. Thought I felt your eyes on me. Now come the words. I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skidding your knuckles on the wrong door.
Why were we supposed to meet, Durance? The why of it is that you're a watcher. A watcher runs two roads of why. It's for me, it's more a matter of what. There was a time when I wouldn't have spared a thought for your words, or even bothered with you. But now, seeking out watchers is what I do, to put the truth to them, to see which of the two ways they bend. He smiles slightly, taunting. Truth? What kind of truth? Either your dry feed the need of a harvest burning, he frowns for a moment, his eyes flat, or you're lost in the darkness. Either way, you can see differently from the others. He gives a half smile, and his tone becomes accusing. I can tell by the way you notice the stuff, first off. Not many can see it first, nor the etchings nor the flames, but your eyes, he stares at you almost eagerly, nodding, your eyes trace the path. That I can see. I'm excited for the sequel. That's why we're doing this every week. No delays, no cancellations. Final Destination, so we can get all the way to the sequel. And like Avowed, their probably first or third person Skyrim killer set in Eora. I have been doing a little reading, and I think it's going to be a prequel about Woedica, given how often they say the word vow, and she's a divinity of vows and oaths. So I'm pretty excited for that. Probably not going to play it on Steam first off because I won't know crap about the plot or setting. I can't tease you with beautiful things that are going to happen soon. You got to admit, the teasing is fun. So which are you, a dry field or lost in darkness? Dune's face tense. A day we don't trade that question back and forth is a day our paths no longer need to be joined. In the trial, Dune's hand clenches his staff, which we gave to someone else, is done. You're putting me on trial then? You know this nation is diseased. Don't need to be a watcher to see it in the children, the politics, the man that stalk the roads with knives in hands and murder in their eyes. This land needs life again. New seeds planted in the burned soil. His voice drops, mocking, and his eyes narrow. And something tells me you can see the path to making that future happen, Watcher. Your kind always does. So then, we need to make sure you see truly now. This nation, its people, don't need any more lies blinding them, nor do I. You test a truth, you don't blindly accept it. And how do you plan to test me? Sharing the road, of course. One truth to match another, matching each other's pace, keeping rhythm. Other priests can keep their teachings and rantings. For my faith, my teaching, sharing the road is a simple, hard truth. His smile widens, and his hands tap against his waist, once and twice. When you knock one truth against the leg of another, why, both legs stand firm. But now, if you strike a lie at the knee with the same force, his smile dries and his eyes narrow. Why, you make a cripple with but one leg to stand on. Is that why you carry that staff? So you can hit me in the knee? Is that why I... Terence is about to launch into another volley of words, blinks. Volley of words, blinks, and then he rolls his head back and laughs deeply. The laughter coming out until it seems like the air will run out of his lungs. Until it seems forced. Perhaps your words are worth listening to, Watcher. He frowns, any trace of humour gone. But the truth will win out. Keep pace and we'll see. Alright, let me...
The cost of troubling me seems to worry you little.
Dick. Yeah. Durant is a jerk. He's almost religiously motivated to be a dick as well. So Deadman's Tea Party, a fellow streamer, he goes on Sunday nights. He's currently going through Orphan's Silent Sorcery. Janky game, but fun to watch him play through, that's for sure. He told me about the concept in Mage, the Awakening. a World of Darkness game about the lion, which is a type of adamantine arrow, I think, where they act like a dick, an arrogant dick, in order to inspire other mages in the Concilium to not be arrogant dicks, because they can see how badly it can go, right? Durant's giving me that vibe. I feel like he's acting more like a dick and being more aggressive and more annoying as some sort of abject lesson on why not to be a dick. It's a horrible, lonely, terrible thing to do, and it really seems to be making the best out of a bad situation. But if that's who he is, that's who he is. Luxie, you're right. We'll cause him as much trouble as we want. But Durance, you're my best source about information about Magrin, and I love the divinities in this setting, so tell me. Oh, you know her. You must. He gives a bit of chuckle and his tone evens out. She's a many-headed bitch. Okay, what is your view on Magrin?
She's a goddess, as fickle as they come, and with all the failings you'd expect of an empress and a whore. Too many eyes, too many wants, too much to hold on to. That's the failing of a god. More aspects than words to describe her, like most of them. A god with many nations to oversee, only serves to spread herself too thin.
Good to see you, full security. Buddy, he just stated this to you. That's true, but tell me more about why. Why are you calling your divinity the person you've chosen to worship your entire life? Why do you insult it like that? That's what I want to know. And Rivetti, exactly right. It'd be easy to see him as just a jerk doing a role if he didn't also play that card that is thrown at every fan person in our world. It's just awful, right? Luxie, that's creepy. Don't taunt full security like that. Look at although flame rarely crosses twice, so perhaps it is the only truth she embraces. Who knows? Gods get greedy. When it comes to fire, fire is a god's hunger. Alright, what are her aspects, man? Terence begins to count on his fingers, chanting it off. War transforms, fire consumes, trials purify. Warfare, fire, consuming, purification, and most of all, transforming. Trials as well, but all things are put to the test anyway. A trial can consume, purify, transform. They're all linked, although at its heart is the flame, and the flame is what matters. It is the source of all things. Guess they should have started with that, eh? Any fool around a campfire knows that. Without flames, fire, we would have made little progress in the dark. To hear some of the inner fires told around the hearth and bellows, even in the halls of Ashfall, you'd think that fire brought life to man, and that fire was Magrin. Some of the older texts say she rubbed her hands together and they burst into flame. Or another god shafted her like a poker. Don't take away her glory, dude. There are different perspectives on her then? He grunts. Mine is only one sight among many. Turrets frowns, pauses. His eyes take on an eager gleam. But here's one. I can speak to how the losing side sees her, and that should tell you enough. Let me speak to what an Adirian sees. We're not from Adir, so we can't say, hey, Durance? No, I'll tell you. What the hell? Maker, yeah, he might if the writers were worse and willing to make you feel bad to get that little bit of characterization off, but someone made a trade-off at that point, and I bet it was a writer's room with at least one woman in it saying, he's already bad enough, please? And then every man in the room went, oh, fuck, yeah, good point, sorry. Right? You'd hope. What does an Adirian see? The Adirians have a proper, polite translation for her. Excellence in war, tactical discipline. He snorts. That's why they lost the fucking colony, of course. They were probably still quoting that while we had them bent across the decks. All their guns and cannons are fine. They're useless when your staff is crackling life into their skulls, dispensing red gifts left and right. Durance's fist tightened, and he laughed. Adirians call that elevation, divine awareness. Those words are as welcome as shit on one's boots, and that's all they took back with them when they were running. He shakes his head. A lesson learned at the wrong time. Almost feel a pang of sympathy for them. Almost. Lesson? What do you mean? The title of a god isn't knowing a god, adhering to words rather than walking the path, testing yourself in the heat of it. Walk until the words are stripped away and you feel it, burning in your heart. That is the lesson. That Aderian politeness, that petty adherence to the word in scripture as they saw it, that burned their ships, scarred them, kept them running throughout the Deerwood campaign. He snorts. Divine awareness. There's no true faith in waiting to be tested. The best in battle have already shit themselves plenty, shit themselves until they're dry and can focus on the killing. I said this in my podcast back when I was podcasting, and I actually received a question on it from a listener of the podcast. I really appreciate it because it allowed me to clarify and think about my thoughts more about it. I really hate going through the motions of a religion. I've questioned my own atheism to the point where I'm happy to decide that I do not believe in divinity in any incarnation that I've found in an organized religion so far. So it upsets me that some people can fake faith because I've come down to the point and analyzed it that I'm like, no, I do not have faith. I've questioned as much as I can. The only point is that I come to the point where I question and go, no. Um, I am offended on behalf of any religion that would have people who came to the same question, came to the same conclusion, then said, well, I'm going to pretend. And that's why with Emma's family, on the very rare occasions we went to church, I'd refuse a blessing because if you can fake faith, it diminishes all faith, all of it, because it implies that everyone else in that room, everyone else in the church, could also be faking it in the same way. And then the whole thing is nothing. Durance just said faking faith will get you killed. And not by like not as a heretic. It'll get you killed because the strength he gained from walking the path, this war campaign, he just said he has PTSD from. The other enemies, they believed they had the same gods, right? And they worshipped in a way that wasn't enough. They only spoke the words, they didn't do anything, and it killed them. So he truly believes in the goddess he calls a whore.
I suspect the answers will seed more questions.
I want to know more about endurance. Lucky. Maybe, right? I'm not going into the causes of the Hollowborn crisis yet. I will tell you that you do learn the answer, and we will learn together as well. But it's a decent point in a world that has actual divinities, right? What happens if you fake it? I don't think it was punishment that happened to them, but it's interesting. Terrence is an odd name. No more than Watcher. Our name is Slam Shadows, thank you very much. It's not an odd name at all. Endurance is not a name, it is a title. So what does the title mean? Durance nods. What does a Watcher mean? Durance is something sacred of Magrin. One of her memories, perhaps, or a branch of teaching. He taps his staff slightly, as if remembering. He shrugs. Let's not waste time talking of it. We've not shared the road and fire long enough, and this teaching of Durance, well, Durance is not a popular chapter of the faith. Oh, wow, I wonder why. Alright, so you said it's a title, not a name. Did I? I did. Well, he sneers. What a sharp memory you have. Is that what you want to hear? It is a title. Names are useless things. Actions and focus. Those are what should be honored. We're a Chanda. We specifically remember names of people who do cool shit, then bring their names up in battle to keep ourselves more powerful. Where are you from?
Where I hail from? From one of Margren's fires. A cathedral. Ashfall. Made of blackened trees.
Durance sighs, his hand tightening on the staff for a moment and relaxes. Why are we talking this turn? We're going to finish off soon. We'll come back to him later.
I studied the scriptures there. The fires carved into the land. The trunks of the burnt trees. And in the factories where the rifles and cartridges were shaped. All are chapels in other devotions.
Specifically, Magrin makes rifles and cartridges that go in guns. Interesting tenet of faith. Other devotions. Durance nods. For Magrin, any fire is enough for worship, physical or not. A blacksmith's anvil, a craftsman's bench, all arenas where fire is waiting to be born. Durance snaps his finger. Like, there's one of them? Or like that. It just needs a spark, like an alchemical fire, or a spark to cartridges to speed them to their purpose. Their purpose? Durance tilts his head, thinking, well, their purpose then. It was many thens ago. Beard was a little brighter than now. But yes, cartridges, guns all had a purpose, and that purpose was punching holes in mages and letting their pompous air hiss out. Alof winces. Yeah. Durance gives a half smile and a nod. Woke their kind right up and kept them staring at the ceiling in the dark instead of sleeping, that's for certain. Alof rolls his eyes. Pompous air indeed. A little violence is an accounting, an answer for an unchecked power. Well, Magrin gave an answer for that. Magrin put soldiers and mages on equal footing. Durance nods again. Mages were troublesome in that time. Firearms made every man a mage, and a caster's pretty arcane shield was little match for them. It turned each commoner into a beast that could spit fire. It leveled the field of battle, that's for certain. Made many mage a grave. Neat. We do not share the road, Watcher. Save your questions for another day. Alright, screw you then. We'll come back and chat later. Grunts are great, super great. No, they're not. Sorry. But they equal the field. As the game now passes their building done. No.
I know it looks old and crumbling, but the castle is recent compared to what lies beneath. Cadnua is a newly grown sore sitting atop ancient bones.
Thanks, Heravis.
Hey.
Let's have a quick nap. And then, let's fight. Yeah. Guns suck. They serve a purpose. It's just that they also hurt people. Merchant's Hall construction started, but we don't have the Merchant's Hall. It starts there. Steward!
I trust all is well. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Thank you, Steward. Tell me, what is the state of the keep? 23 hours remaining. Manual resolve. Done. Yeah, gotta keep those 30 to 50 feral hogs away from your children when they can appear in 3 minutes or less. Okay. So we hit manual resolve. We were told there would be forest lurkers and shades in a fight. Here they are. Fight. Yeah, manual resolve. If we auto-resolved it, it'd use the people we have barracks to do this fight. There are no people in our barracks. If we hit manual resolve when we're out, it would give us the party members that stayed here to resolve the fight. There are 2 of them, and they would die. So we're going to do it manually. Plus, I get to be here versus fight. Transform into Stoker, maybe? Gross. Target at maximum endurance takes no damage from an infestation of maggots. Looks good, but not a great opener. Instead, let's get a bit of storm action going on. And we will do a wounding shot. Aloth, however, now he's got the great fireball opener. We're going to start there, because I don't want to have too much trouble just beginning the fight. There we go. That went off pretty well, to be honest. Alice is wounded because... Fuck the photo. Actually, there. Training Freeze crit him for 22. And with additional effects to extra might and constitution drain. So he's not going to be dealing much damage in this little fight. So let's do that, and we'll try and move him out of the way in a moment. As you can see, he's already taken a bit of a hit. And we can't heal him up. He's on 1 endurance, right? We do have healing. It's around him, so maybe don't move too far away yet, Aloth. Let's keep this going. Ikumak, could you deal with that shade? Hilarious, thank you. And Aloth is down. We still get this heal off. We're starting to suffer a little bit. We've also got the concentration drain. I don't think we can fear these spirits. Let's get a little bit of endurance back for Slam Shadows. We've got 2 sets of days. He's just keeping 2 steady. Can we pop it a Forest Lurker? I think that'd be very powerful. It's immune. Aloth is squishy. We could put more armor on him, but then he wouldn't be able to cast many spells. Freeze damage, but we're hitting a lot of our allies. Burn damage. There you go, let's try that. What's it say? Short caster. That was good. He killed the shadow. This one won't hit allies. So let's just do that there and get some insects formed out. Shout out to Jimbles, we're gonna throw some bees in enemies, huh? 3 phrases up. So, skeletons have worked before, let's do that again. I'm gonna get a wounding shot down there. Poor Eora is tanking, we've only got 2 sets. Summon these, just distract us a little bit. If that's the best you do, it's still worth it. Slam Shadows, my dude. Chug a quick potion, huh? Good thing too, because he needed that. Nearly got the insects fall off, but a lot of enemies have moved out of the area by then, so I'm gonna get full effect out of it. Eora is a good tank. He's doing great. He also took down one of them just by distracting him. I like that. Okay, let's do a spirit shift, huh? Look at that. Not bad, right? Love seeing him pull out some magic like that. Human skeleton, keep doing it great. That lightning damage is still going while he's in spirit shift form. Grieving Mother's got a lot of caster points now, so let's just deal some damage to this one here. Got 3 phrases again, but I don't think we need to summon more. Let's just get this lightning off. Look at that. Very good. 10 shock damage is not a lot, but it's better than nothing. Get it off. Poor Aloth. Not his fault for being so delicious and squishy. Whew. Okay, enemies tried to invade our town. Our keep. Probably due to the Master below, let's face it. We were told that they would attack us, and that's what happened. I'm glad we're here to deal with it. I'm also glad that we were able to say, yeah, resolve it now rather than later. I'm glad we didn't have to wait the whole day.
Alright then.
Okay. These sort of kind of random encounters to attack your party's keep should be expected.
Walls need some work before this place is secure.
Yes, Sagani.
My husband could fix them right up.
It should be expected when you've got. Ooh, we'll do that in a second. When you've got territories fed in your tabletop game. Don't allow them to auto-resolve it though, because that math always skews in favor of the computer or the NPC. You should say to your players, how are you dealing with this? And this, how are you dealing with it may very well be, we tell our hirelings to deal with it. And then don't tell them the result until they have some sort of communication, they send a letter, they go back and visit, they figure out what happened. That will add some verisimilitude as to why are you defending this place? It's your home, but how are you looking after it? What are you doing about it? If someone attacks the farms nearby, what do you do about it? Are you collecting taxes? And don't do what some earlier video games do. Just say are you collecting taxes? Yeah, okay, money goes in. No, taxes when used inappropriately are a form of extortion. I'm not a libertarian, please don't think that way. But in a feudal lordship, if you own a keep and you're allowing serfs to live on it and taking the profit from them, that's a shitty thing to do. And you should make your players feel shitty if they're making that decision. Anyway, I said on Twitter, like for last week, we should have a lot of fans tuning in and watching our stuff so that we can make fun of everyone who comes into stream and accuses us of being political, because we started that way. Modern taxes are very different to feudal taxes. Yeah, that's true. Tithes versus taxes is exactly right, Luxy. Grieving mother. You feel a presence hovering nearby. When you turn, you see the grieving mother observing you. Concern prickles the corners of her eyes and seeps into your mind. Because we had a couple of rests here. You wear a call of your own, Watcher. I see you shrouded by old lives and unanswered questions. Yeah, I've felt them more and more of late. This is why we journey together. That one may draw strength from many, and that much may be mended by the purpose of one. As she peers at you, her brow seems creased with a new kind of anxiety. Your obscure past. Doesn't it trouble you? Yeah, I don't know what's in there, and that troubles me. Take care, Watcher. Do not let the unknown chapters of your soul thwart your present endeavors. You must fortify your mind and find clarity in your purpose. She retreats from you, fading to the background. You did not already know she was there. You suspect you wouldn't notice her at all.
Hey,
The other companions can't see your grieving mother, because she's got the call, which is the name for the amniotic sac around a baby. Call babies are magic babies. Exactly. He calls it call, and because she's a midwife, it's using information for what she understands of the world to refer to the
Of
magic.
course.
He's not classically trained. Merchant. Merchant.
I tr-
Merchant stores construction has started. I don't think we got the merchant stores construction instruction message. 7 hours. I know it's not a good thing to do. We're just kind of killing time. It seems like we just chilled out in our town for a few days. Rebooting, yeah, exactly, right? I think it's fascinating. How do you write a character that has no interactions with any other characters? It's a challenge. It's good. We like it. There, Merchant Souls construction started. No one said, hey, you're about to attack. Let's buzz most invaders from coming in that direction. The Bailey will allow you to upgrade the grounds further. Now that we can sell things, I'd like to ask the question. Between these three, right? We have the money for each of them. I would like chat to sound off in a little bit. Library, barracks, or dungeons. Okay? And you can refer to them as 1, 2, or 3, where 1 is library, 2 is barracks, and 3 is dungeon. We'll pick that one next. You got about 2 minutes from here, okay? 1 from false. Very good. You're a big, big nerd building a library like that. Hey, Ash Phoenix, nice to have you along. Glad to see you. Relatively new. Glad to have you along. This will all make sense for a chanter. Yeah, that's true. Corey's voting for dungeon for barracks, and that makes sense. Because it does. You can see this one literally says, employ hirelings that have head to stronghold. Could be useful. Let Tana hang out in the library. You'd think he would, right? Also, I find it funny when the binary addresses click build a library, right? But the idea is to get a library in a place that doesn't have a printing press is a lot of work. The books are just going to appear. That's fine. That's an abstraction that makes sense. But it's funny just to poke at, right? Where are we getting all the books from? 3 votes for library, and 1 vote for barracks, and 2 votes for dungeons. Books will come by magic. Well, magic books is not a bad thing at all. think, unless we have a couple of votes for dungeons appearing in the next few seconds, we're gonna go for the library. Finish in 2 days. Oh, Kibbled, I'm so sorry. I would have tied it up. What is happening to you too much tonight, Kibbled? That is a shame. But due to us having Action Phoenix coming along, we've got a library coming on its way. We're going to sell things to the merchant, just clear away some of our stuff because we've been adventuring. Where is this merchant? I swear he was there. Oh, okay. I'm just going to leave and come back. Hopefully he appears. Sorry, Kibbled. I think you are slightly further back in the stream. I thought I would give us 2 minutes this time. Sniped. It's very nice. We're not sleeping here, says Alof. We're gonna build this place up so it's so good, man. We want it.
Greetings.
Fancy new blade? Maybe an axe? We've got plenty here to take the fancy of any amount of action. How about some ingredients or spices for the road? I've got oils and tinctures for the ailing man, too. Want to have a look? Yeah. Honestly, I want to sell things we're not using for money that we're going to immediately use to spend on the keep as soon as we finish building things, okay? Yeah, cheers. Thanks, buddy. I generally go sell all the greys so we can equip any new party members with whatever weapon suits them best. And then at some point sell all the finds as well when we're well equipped and famous. We sell things as general goods guy. I think he keeps them forever, which is a fun refutation of supply and demand, which I'm fine with. Kibbled, you're overthinking it indeed. Just embrace the fact that we're going to make wrong decisions and it will backfire on us, and then we will load a save if it's terrible. Okay? Or we'll embrace the fact that we've made a bad decision and recognize that we're individuals and sometimes we make mistakes, and the good thing it's just a video game and we'll get terrible. I'm selling non-uniques of these. What? I might keep that just because it's DR12. That's very good. The hats are pointless, unenchanted though. You can do a lot of those because you can custom enchant things as well. Okay, so he keeps all that stuff, and I'm pretty sure he keeps them for a long time as well. So we just increased our money by quite a bit. We could go back and buy some more random stuff. No, we're not going to. We'll get one of each of these though, because might as well. Oh, good. Done and done. It's important to have like a place to drop your junk. If we needed to get a quick burst of money to build something because we're back in town, it's worth having it. Right. To Defiance Bay.
It's very nice. Here are we?
So mean. This is your home. You live here now. Everyone likes living in their home. It's so nice, though. When you leave, it lets you choose who you're taking with us. Let's have here of us just a little bit longer. We'll pull Durance back later. That's been fun for a bit, huh? Pretty. Yeah, I don't think he ever will. So we can't get across that bridge. Remember, it was broken. We're going to go this way, which means we're then plains. And we take an exit on a map we've already been through. Remember? There's a lion up there. Maybe you don't remember. It was a cute lion. Nearly got freaking killed earlier too. That was pretty funny. We're playing it on easy mode. We still have these dangerous situations. If we're playing it on harder difficulty, it'd be bad. For me specifically, because I don't think the game through that well. The most I think through games is in an MMO, and I read a guide on how to play the class I'm enjoying really well. And even then, I'm letting someone else do the thinking. Puzzles are different, especially Towers of Hanoi. Got more of these backstory people. A random commoner, what do you have to say? If you need an inn for the night, Goose and Fox is the softest beds and the best hour. Alright, let's talk to Crowdock Bridgman. Because Luxie pointed out that Bridgman is a very weird name for someone standing on a bridge. I mean, my last name is Woodman, so maybe I shouldn't talk. But then again, I'm also not in the forest that often. You see a ship being tossed about in the storm-ravaged sea. The swells rise and fall, taking the ship with them as if it were a toy. This man stands on the deck at the helm of the ship while water whips around him. The crew moves about frantically, trying to keep his chaos under control. He barks orders at them, pointing where to go and giving each one a task. The men, while still visibly distressed, seem to calm down when they're given their orders. He instructs the helmsman to resume his duties at the wheel and rushes to the aid of a crewman who is struggling with a rope attached to one of the sails. The ship breasts a wave, going almost vertical in one direction and immediately again in the other direction. Several of the crew are thrown from their feet, sliding across the deck as the ship is rocked. After the swell passes and the ship returns to relatively normal orientation, the man quickly scans the deck, counting silently. No one has been lost this time, thankfully. He looks in the direction they're headed, seeing no reprieve from the storm in sight. His jaw squared and his upper lip stiffened. He returns to the helm and takes the wheel again. Kickstarter backstory. This one's actually pretty good, you know? It's evocative, good language, decent. It's not a short story, it's a snippet, but at least it's entertaining. Cheers, rebooting. It is good to see you. I hope you rest up. Remember, you can always tap out and watch the VOD, and we will just miss you. We're not going to talk to everyone. We're not going to read everyone's backstories and Kickstarter NPCs, even if that is a cool fire godlike. I don't know if I want to be in the forest, Luxie. It's like there are bugs there. Welcome to Defiance Bay, but watch yourself in our city, understand? Justicar and a named Justicar.
Greetings.
Remember that voice I just gave him? Well, we got this one instead. Greetings! What can you tell me about Defiance Bay? Sorry, but I don't have the time right now. But it sounds like that Dozens crackbot Rowan is stirring up trouble again. He'll be all too happy to give you a rundown of the city. Liberally favoured with Dozens propaganda, of course. Who are the Dozens? We've walked into a new city and an NPC is giving us information on the political situation in the city. What good foreshadowing! What a great way to invest your players in the city you've created and are likely far too excited about. I'm looking for the Temple of Wodica? Scratches his beard. Not sure why you'd want to go there. In first 5 if you really want to see it. The main quest, dude. Screw you. Right? Seem to be on edge. What's the problem? Thousands of problems. Truth be told, we got refugees coming in from all parts under some misguided notion that things are actually better here. The legacy somehow passed us over. So they show up with no prospects and little money and end up just making it worse of things. It looks you up and down. No offense. Not strictly a refugee, but thanks, I guess. Good luck to you. Never far from the Queen. Lennon Key, the city of defiance, never far from the Queen. Go to the Temple of Wodica. We know that it's in first 5. Boy, I love having a journal. If you don't have a journal, it's nice having someone in your role-playing game or story who can write down what you should be doing. That's why good podcasts or even good sessions have a moment at the beginning and end, at the beginning of each one where they say, "Okay, what did we do last time?" 15 minutes. You can see the distance between these places, 4 hours, 2 days, 15 minutes, is a kind of representation to see how far away these places are. We're inside the city. We are moving through places. So that's 15 minutes of busy time that you're skipping over, but it is a nice way to give scale. I don't know how to do that. In a role-playing game, I suck at distance and geography. Like, how far away is X? And I go, a dramatically appropriate amount of time. Or 3 random encounters on the way.
Defiance
or
Bay.
something.
The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
That's an interesting thing to just have there. It's in reference to the idea that we may have made a significant story beat by entering Defiance Bay. I don't think it's specifically called Act 2 now, but it can be seen that way. And here we are, in the city. We came at night. Day 24, hour 24, 1 Ta Prima 2823. But, like, we're essentially here at midnight. Um, we have these large scale maps. Very big.
Defiance Bay. I miss Adir already.
It's because this place was settled while the Deerwood was still an Adrian colony. Plaxon! Huzzah!
Hey,
Smog! Cat. These adamanters have brought divine wrath upon us all. But that guy who was mentioned by the guard? Right here. And yet the Duke and his toadies and the Crucible Knights do nothing. Can we allow these atrocities to continue unchecked? No! Protest. Down with animancy!
Gods keep you.
Rowan's arms are crossed, and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. He sizes you up. New in town, hey? Yeah, picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacies no better here. It's the Adamancers. Magron scorch them. They nest in the city like rats. You mark my words, though. Us dozens are going to put a stop to it. Tell me more about the dozens. It was a question that Chad asked outside, and now that they've got distracted by cats, I'd like you to answer the question for them while they're not paying attention. He taps his chest. We're an organization of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Alamancers and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seeing as the Crucible Knights are a little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Just like the militia, the dozens, except for the training, and the discipline, and the code of honor. His eyes gleam, and we're always looking to expand. The more people see things our way, the better for the state of the country. You have any interest in hearing more? Stop by Admeth's Den sometime, the expedition hall. A lot of free thinkers in there. You can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and adamants want you to believe. Might even be some paid work there for motivated types. Rebooting, that's very funny. Nature God like walk in. Ah, that's an interesting way to use the name. Sure thing. Down with aristocrats. We're an aristocrat, which is not from here. Again, a great way to have your main character able to enter a place and not immediately have problems, but still influenced by their backstory. We can be like, I'm not sure I hate all aristocrats. I can hate all of yours, so you're still able to choose. You're not, like, forced to. Anyway, what you doing here, buddy? He gestures at the crowd, which buzzes with an angry chatter, trying to get folks to see reason. We're in the middle of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from a city, the Duke is granting Animance's dangerous liberties. What do you know about Animancy? It's a study and manipulation of essence, which only same person plays a purview of the gods. The Adirians at least had a sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul readings that these ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Ingwithan times, just why you'll see Animus is tinkering with old Ingwithan artifacts. He shakes his head. Trouble is, the Animus has got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. Our emphatic friend is correct about one thing, at least. Huh. Yeah, the tree animates helped us out in a really bad time. But we also made a pretty shitty one in Raedric's Keep, right? I'd like to know more about Defiance Bay. First person who's willing to tell me about it and yelling on the street. This is the capital of the Free Palatinate of the Deerwood. We started out as a capital of an Adirian colony, but we booted the flattened scepter from these lands 150 years ago. Ooh. These days, we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world. But we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that owed us our freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copper Lane, First Fires, Ondra's Gift, Brackenbury, and Heritage Hill. Tell me about Copper Lane. This here is Copper Lane. He's taps the scuffed bit on the cobblestones. It's primarily a market district, but we've also got the expedition hall directly north of here where you can join treks into the wilds. As for my fellow dozens, Martyrs and I tend to meet up with other concerned citizens. He points to a long domed building west and north of your position, and that's the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Eerie place, if you ask me, but I've got the biggest library in the Deerwood. It steals shit from there. Yeah, exactly, rebooting. Messing with people's souls. Kind of odd. Could be good, could be bad. The guidebook, I'm not sure if it's mentioned in game yet, so maybe minor spoiler. Says the Animators are finding soul twins, like actual soulmates, for one another. And they're like, oh yeah, your soul is twinned with this person. You meet them and like, oh my god, we get along so well forever. And that's really cool. First fires, eh? That's where the revolution started, hence the name. And these days it's everyone with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where we find the Ducal Palace, the Valiant Embassy, and a Crucible Keep. He shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in the Defiance Bay. Now they're strutting peacocks with eyes and fancy titles and heads up their asses. There's an old temple of Wordica there. We keep it real nice for her. He winks. That's weird. Is it? Somebody's parents introduced by an animator. Yeah, I think so. Tree animators. And I think that's interesting. As a poly guy, I don't exactly believe in soulmates, but in a setting where souls are straight up exist, it's neat that they'd be utilized in that way. Tell me about Brackenberry. A noise of disgust rose in his throat. The nobility that didn't sail back to Adia stayed there. Most of the families there traced their lineage back to old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you've got Hadrit House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenberry's Planetarium, the mainstay bit of animacy in the city. He spits on the cobblestone. Tell me about Andra's gift. Got the name because it was a wetland that was drained back in the Imperial days. Now, it's a seedy district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place, too, if you know where to look. He winks and elbows you. Look for a place called the Salty Mast when you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Lux him rebooting. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess it's really more dismissive to the concept of multiple relationships. I don't like soulmates, even the concept of soulmate, even when I was like considered myself monog, which is a long time ago now. Primarily because it's a way to like it's either correct all the time because your relationship is working, or it is not correct, or the person you're with is no longer a soulmate. And you're all saying very reasonable things that make a lot of sense, right? And multiple soulmates, you can have multiple loves of your life. Yeah, I guess. Don't gonna yuck anyone's yum. If you like it, more power to you. Damn right. Well, some people have multiple soulmates too, like a whole soulmate. Yeah, I guess. Straight up, not gonna yuck your yum. If it makes you feel happy and brings you close to people, then it's worth doing. I don't need to stand on any sort of pulpit and shout down things people enjoy. He shivers. Sorry. Tell me about Heritage Hill. He shivers. It used to be one of the more prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plots up there, and it's the ancient Egwithan Tower and the city cemetery had the best views in Defiance Bay. Attracts richer types these days. A lot of Adamancy patrons. He spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple of months ago. The authorities sealed it off, and now they're keeping their mouths shut. But mark my words, Adamancy's to blame. Sorry, my soul's just very friendly. Thanks, man. Alright, let's talk about someone else. Got nothing more to say. Thanks, Ron, for giving us a background to this current conflict happening in the city. I wonder if it will have anything to do with what we're doing in here. Wageman's legacy was one warning, Heritage Hill was another. Spread the word, together we'll drive the blight of Adamancy from our city. Having a fixed camera angle allows you to set up just brilliant views. Like, we can't tilt or change the camera angle here, so we just get this angle that focuses on the river here. And I think that's beautiful. That's all I have to say, I'm afraid. Let's cross the bridge. Maker. Must fucking suck to be an Animancer. Yeah, at least Animancy is, like... At least it's not forced upon you like being a Watcher is. That would make it one step worse. Calm waters smell faintly of refuse. Ah, city life before sanitation. theoretical. Don't dress for soulmates. I like how we're all discussing it. I love this chat. You guys are doing great. It's beautiful to have you talk. The Goose and Fox. These places are the best beds in town, we've been told. It would suck to be in a profession where you're straight up, where you may be trying to help people or experiment and help people, and a lot of people shout for your death. Like, that's bad. All the time. I can think of a particular profession that may get us in trouble on Twitch, so I'm not going to point it out. The Stalagast pelt is thick with dust and moss. The plaque below and the beast reads, Maiden Falls, 2682. Lots of Kickstarter backers in here. Where else would you put them? Town and an inn makes sense. Lively place, isn't it? We find all sorts, evidence of philosophy here. Welcome to the Goose and Fox.
Hail, traveler.
That was Liam O'Brien.
Good day to you. Hail, traveler.
You can hear it there, right? I can. The man behind the bar is nearly aside from Al-Muama. Can't pronounce it right tonight. It's very annoying. A handle protrudes from his back. A handle protrudes from his back? Okay, and his face is set in a stoic frown. He gives you a small nod. Here for a drink? There's a tiny pewter cup in front of him. He turns in one broad hand, but doesn't drink from it. Tell me about yourself. Name's Bishop. Used to be a scholar of Barath. Now I run the Goose and Fox and keep the regulars in line. He shifts and you see a war helmet strapped to his back. There's the handle. Right, so the handle is protruding from his back, not like out from it, but is coming over the back. Okay, cool. That makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah, rebooting, you're exactly right. I am 6 episodes off finishing campaign 2, and I'm not going to make it in time for Exandria Unlimited, but I'm very excited for it. How do you go from religion to taverns? A journey isn't as long as you think. It started with Holyborn, and with this, takes a black bottle from under the bar and fills a pewter cup. He was my sister's son. He takes a drink. At the beginning of Waven's legacy. He's one of the first. I never expected there to be so many after him. Tragedy is part of the cycle, but it's followed by rebirth. Yet every year, more parents are grieving for their hollow-boned children, and the gods are silent. So you lost your faith? He leans forward, crossing his arms on the bar. Bereth promises rebirth. Cycles. But the only cycle I found was this one. He tapped the bar. Have a drink, have another, and another, till I couldn't remember how I got home. Wake up, come back. Finally woke up one day to see my family had packed up and left. For all I know, they'd left days before and I just hadn't noticed. But they were gone. So I came in. I've cleaned up since then. Not that I found my answers. He tosses the cup back. I just stopped asking questions. Oh! Tragedy. Large-scale events, and again, Wademan's Legacy is only happening in the Deerwood. Large-scale events like this should have flow-on effects to essentially everyone in town. They may not be talking about it right away, but there'll be people whose lives are affected more than others, and it might be interesting to have them speak about that. Even just basic NPCs. It gives a scale to the thing we're talking about, and that's worth having. It's founded in the early days of Deerwood Independence by a travelling scholar named Eora of Levy. He wanted a place where kids of all backgrounds could gather and hash out the issues facing the new country. Yeah, good idea. He rested his elbows on the polished wood of the bar. It didn't take long for the place to fill up. Brackenberry aristocrats argued with dockworkers from the gift, while soldiers wrangled with politicians. Deerwoodens have never been known to turn down an argument. He takes a sip from the tiny cup. I can imagine things got interesting. Soon kids were coming from the farms and settlements too. Waves at the door as if expecting a crowd to bustle in. This place got even more popular with the Valiant soldiers and the salty mouth. And that was the problem. He drains his cup. No matter what people say about fair-mindedness and civil debate, there's only so much people will tolerate. Yeah, because you cannot allow some views to percolate. You need to expunge them. Nazi punks fuck off. Errol found himself on the wrong side of an argument with the wrong theme, and when he disappeared a few days later, and said it was a work of that theme. He shrugs, spreading his hands over the bar as he surveys the room. But Errol knew which way the wind was blowing. If you ask me, he skipped town. He head out somewhere, hoping for rational minds to prevail in Defiance Bay. He clicks a grin. Only you can see it now. Sweet of worldly wonders, intellect and law bonuses, oh my. I'd pay 150 CP for getting 2 rests worth of intellect and law, oh my god. Like 10 defense and disengaging? That's like a feat that you can choose. Here you just get it if you want a nap here. It's fantastic. Hang out with the foxes. I got a fox, I have another. We don't need to create a new adventure out of nowhere. Is there anything we want to... Frick, puppy! Uh, Here, I have some potions. I'll take the puppy, please. Oh my god. Puppy! Don't need to change parties yet. Let's have some athletics and mechanics and ranged accuracy. We have a lot of ranged people. Let's take that. Oh, but it's like, okay, let's do it. Should have a bonus while wandering around. It's not bad to have. If you'll excuse me, I would like to equip our puppy to slam shadows instead of the dragon. Dragon is still our friend, will hang out with us. We have a puppy. Hey, that's true. Let's give him to Adair. He loves the pets. Adair also has some dialogue with us. We'll chat to him in a moment.
Hey,
Look at that golden lab. He looks kind of green in this light, which is a little weird, but whatever. Mercenary. Someone saying that miserable bastard. Okay, a named person saying that miserable bastard. I bet that's actually dialogue. Woman sits by herself, spinning something on the table in front of her and watching it with a furious intensity. It's the size of a coin, and it wobbles over a crack in the wood and with a metallic rattle. She snatches it up with one hand and slams a half-empty cup down on the table with another. This is not a good time. You look like you could use another drink. I'll get there. She takes a long drink from her glass, just trying to calm down, trying to talk herself out of just something foolish. Something foolish? She says nothing for a few moments, as if hoping you'll leave. At last, Eora looks up at you, and the lamplight falls across her face. A purpling bruise is blossoming along her cheekbone. There's something I need to give to my fiancé, Persnick. Only he doesn't seem to go anywhere without his new friends, and they're not exactly pleasant company. Why are you bruised? We will deal with this. Tell me about these new friends. No, who hit you? She shakes her head. I know how this looks, but you don't understand. It's not like Persnick. It's these new friends of his. They brought out the worst in him. We're gonna give someone a big whack on the noggin. Larksy's got it exactly right. Tell me about these new friends. They come into my house with their dead eyes and their black teeth. I'm not a fool, I know what it means. Pernisk makes me leave when they show up, but it's obvious what they come to do. Last time they came, to get out. Let them had their fun somewhere in the gift, but not under my roof. She scowls and winces, her fingertips gently probing her bruise. In the bin! Exactly, Corey. Zveth changes you. Drug, I guess. The Pernisk I knew wouldn't have squashed a spider. I never thought he'd... She trails off, still feeling the swollen, discolored flesh. So, survival 2, we could learn something. We don't have it. Intellect 10, I thought Zveth just made people lay around not doing much. Alright, yeah, tell me about it. Canra shrugs. I don't really know. Seemed better than believing he's always been this way. Alright, maybe I could go talk to him. Her hand rests on the table. She clenches it into a white-knuckled fist. There's nothing more to say to him. We're finished. I just want to give this back to him with a clean break. She opens her hand and a ring slides to the table. It was his grandmother's. Even after all this. I don't have the heart to sell it off, but if I go back there myself, I know what'll happen. I'll lose my temple, and I'll probably wind up with another of these. I wouldn't normally hand this off to a stranger, but people say you've got a good heart. We're new to the city, is that true? If we give this back to him, he'll know we're done. I'll take this ring to him. And she looks at you and nods. The house that just north of here, just please don't hurt him. As furious as I am, I don't want that on my conscience. I'm not gonna get higher money and claim that the loving reputations isn't. Yeah, why do they think we're cool? Because we've got benevolent too. Flame Shadows is known for being kind in at least a couple of circumstances. Also passionate, which makes sense. This problem, this sort of situation exists in the real world. But in the real world, it's just a massive downer, sad thing that is far more complicated and difficult to fix. In fiction, we have the ability to say, that is a problem, I'm not standing for it anymore, I'm going to deal with that problem in a quick and intense way. We're allowed to say, we're adventurers, we solve problems, this is bad, I'm not letting it stand, I'm going to go deal with it now. in a way that we can't in real life. We can't just show up with swords and say, alright, fuckers, get the fuck out. You're not hurting this person anymore. That escapism to have far more agency than we do, far more agency in a controlled, created world than we do in the real world is really gratifying, really incredible, and totally worth having. That form of escapism is probably really important to people and why we enjoy these stories so much. We're not just saying, man, if I were a deer, I'd absolutely go beat up that dude. I'd feel so strong. I'd love it. But it allows us to say, man, I hate that this happens. I understand it happens in the real world, and I simply can't resolve it by myself.
Hey.
But if I could, I just would.
All right, then.
And that's why it sucks to have this situation in real life. If you are in a bad situation like this, I wish there was a simple solution for you so that we can get people to just do it. But using a bad situation in a fictional, controlled manner to get more of a sense of control over it can be therapeutic. And I hope someone at some point gains a little power and security over the fact that you can make a positive change even in a fictional setting, right? Dolphin and all in debate philosophy on the other side of the curtain. They do still debate here, that's cool. Actor? Come to talk some sense into this fellow, huh? Merchant. Hey, to say it, the legacy's been good for business. Fuck you, merchant. God damn it. Goddamn capitalist, right? The painting depicts Glenfartham ruins, and the canvas bears the rough brush strokes of a talented amateur. It brills well. 2665. Bradford. This would be thievery to steal from this.
I shall be discreet.
We're gonna do it because no one can see us. Steal that chicken. Steal.
I'll have it in no time.
Put those
The
locks.
work of a moment.
Steal this. Nate, good ring. I'm gonna steal this good ring. Cool, I'm sorry, we're fine. I love stealing video games. And the dragon is outlined in charcoal pencil. The thick jagged lines and the faint smell of sulfur suggest that the artist completed this sketch in a hurry. Cliff Dragon, White March, 2685. What was that ring, buddy? Nope. Not filter. Open stash and check. This is 20% damage against spirit, 20% damage against vessel, and 5 will. That's just a good extra damage against spirits. Alice, you have AoE damage. You'll more likely hit spirits. It goes to you. Done and done. Great to have. Also, really, really useful when a bunch of spirits attack a goddamn home. Rebooting, I'm glad to hear that there is a way to gain that control that you've lost. I'm glad I wasn't just completely talking out of my ass, right? Mean thing to pinch. Maybe. I don't think he beat up spirits, and how good is his will if he immediately... well, anyway. Went through a crisis of faith. Dreadlet, Dayton, Hurdy, and Two-Tone Weasel? Yeah, Weasel. These people are named, so we'll talk to them in a moment. I just want to remind everyone, it's about 13 minutes until we go on a break at 9 o'clock. Because roughly at 9:10, for the last few times, I'm like, well, I need to get up and have a quick break. It hasn't been very organized, so we're just going to do that, and at 9 o'clock, we'll disappear for about 5 minutes and come back, okay? Okay. Key, Ilfa, there are a lot of people here. Ilfa! Ilfa nods you, pint in one hand, and a mace slung over her shoulder. Cool. Almost intermission o'clock, yeah. Old woman nods at you, a cup of wine in one hand, and scepter across the lap. These people are armed to the teeth, like we are. Two-tone Weasel.
Hail and well met.
Cool. An older man relaxes with his feet propped up on the table. Patches of dark brown skin peek out from under a full mane of blue-green hair. Cool. He and the old woman with him exchange laughs and comments with the trio at a nearby table. He spins a dagger in his hand. His hazel eyes watch you. You look like you've seen a night or two in the wilds. Are you joining us for a drink? Who are all of you? It's an adventuring party. You can tell because there are 5 of them. They're just missing one key component. The main character. The name's Two-Tone Weasel. The lady next to me is Key. We've had a fun of the expeditions, but we were hoping to enjoy a little peace and quiet. For the next few weeks, anyway. Yeah, because adventuring is tough work, and you should be able to go relax afterwards. They call it downtime in role-playing games, and it's cool, but underutilized. A man at the next table nods at you. I'm Dreadshot Dayton. I'm Dreadshot Dayton, and this is Hurley and Ilfa. We're part of the separate expedition teams. We both suffered losses and decided to band together. He takes several items off his fingers. Beasts, barbarians, beerwax. It's a dangerous time to be an adventurer, but a prosperous one too. Downtime, what an escapist dream. Gaining some control over your life. I can't talk. I just came back from a week of leave where I did nothing but play video games and hang out with people I liked. Good. I'd do that all day if I could. I wonder if I can get paid for that. That'd make me a socialite. I'm fine with this. At the next table, Dayton raises his glass. And here's to many more prosperous journeys. Is there something else you wanted? Do you think maybe these guys will become more important later? Must, right? We just got back from the Black Meadow, and we were there too, and it was not very interesting. Scattered amongst titles such as Flora of the Living Lands, A Unity and Disunity, A History of the Deadfire Archipelago, and treatises on the Kulkin people are half a dozen travel journals held together with twine. Plan to sleep for 8 hours and actually do it, and we're rested. Yeah. It's a running joke how much I hate sleep. Because I hate sleep. I hate that we're forced to sleep and you don't get a way out.
I'll have it.
I
in
will
no
rant
time.
about this too
The
long.
work of a
I'm not
moment.
going to, okay? But I'll think about it. We quickly we stole things we left. These NPCs, while they're Kickstarter backer, are also placed here so that you can't just steal shit without a decent stealth score. This is locked. Maybe someone's good in there. We won't know unless we kill them. Old Valia, Southern Coast, circa 2670 AI. I'll rant about sleep later. Maybe after break. I don't like sleep because body's bad doing it well. Same! But even then, I still have the urge where I have to sleep, so all I get to do is be bad at sleep and be... You're very good at this, Rupert, but I don't think you'll get me started this time. The pages of these old books are crisp and fragrant with the salt of the sea breeze. The most unfortunate tale of Fabio and Bernat, a Valian tragedy. It's a play. God. These sort of things are cool to put in your world, right? And how amazing would be the writing job where your boss is like, okay, we need flavor text. Could you just write a minor play that we're going to put in a bookshelf that won't come back at all? You're like, okay, that's it. That's cool. It's not being wasted. I'm just rolling really high in the resistance check so I don't get distracted right before a break. We could steal from these bottles, but I'm not going to because Bishop seems nice. A thing to play. He's right. The Alessio getting made first. Yeah, and then I feel like the Alessio getting made was probably written by a writer who was then like, "Can I please put it in? Please, please, please." Yes, whiny Marvel. What a good Marvel. This is we. Dalton's your friend, not mine. What are they talking about?
Hey,
Not by the expedition. Let's talk to Adair first.
dozens.
The dozens.
Pretty
He
sure
shakes.
you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Then there'd be less of them.
So Adair has an opinion on this mob. Okay. What do you have against the dozens? Nothing serious. Not that I don't have against a lot of folks, anyway. The dozens. They like to take things in their own hands. Gets ugly sometimes. We don't have them in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home here. They picked that name so they could do what they wanted and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with honor or sacrifice. They like to invoke Magrin too, especially when they want to feel right. Somehow I don't think she'd be too impressed with that lot. I'm sure she'd like to set them on fire anytime they use their name, but the guy's probably got rules against that kind of thing. Hey, chat. 1, 2, 3, or 4. How do we feel about the dozens when talking specifically to Edda? 3. Too bad. Wouldn't mind seeing something like that. It's pretty funny. Edda may have a soft spot when it comes to killing people because they believe different things, though. Maybe. I will give us 1 minute from now. Hopefully Kibble will not be left out this time. And we will choose the one that's got the most votes. We've got 2 votes for 1, 1 vote for 2, 3 is definitely funny. We haven't met a nice follower of Magrin yet, that's for sure. Two or three. 3 is very funny rebooting. I'm glad you're embracing the bit of chaos, right? Because again, like I've said multiple times, and I'm going to keep saying over and over, do not feel like we need to choose the right things all the time, okay? We're going to choose fun things. We're going to have fun with this game. We're going to see what it has for us, and if we make the wrong decision at some point and it's so bad we can't live with it, we'll load a save. Okay, 2 votes for 1. 2 votes for 3. 2. And 2 votes for 2, to be honest. So, I'm going to tie break. And I'm going to choose 3. Because, like, let's embrace the chaos. Flam Shadows likes a little bit of it. Sorry, Alexi, you're right. 2 votes for 2 or 3. I think 3 is more fun. Proof that the gods are just. What I wouldn't give for... Proof that the gods are just. What I wouldn't give for a little of that. We're so unhelpful. We're saving the day. We're heroes. So, like, we made a joke. It didn't insult him specifically. Nothing went terribly wrong. See? I got your back. The chat, unhelpful. No way. We're playing this together. That's why it's streamed, not just playing through myself again because I like the game. It'd probably be faster, because then I'd be doing it more than once a week. But also, I wouldn't get my dailies done in Final Fantasy, and then I'd be sad. That's true. What I should do is look into the actual plugins that allow votes to happen automatically. Wouldn't that be good? Hey, False, as in False Security, I'm pretty sure you know how to use those plugins, so if at some point I can pick your magnificent brain and you can teach me obvious things, that'd be really cool. Why do they call themselves the Dozens? Was 12 Deerwood stood outside Algot Citadel waiting for Wadewind to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate, so that's what they did. Fuck. Said heroes in Rayla's voice and shut it. You're heroes! My Avernus game. I edited an NPC to be a lot more fun. The 12D wooden stood outside Palgot Citadel, now called Godhammer Citadel, waited for Widewind to cross the bridge. They had to hold him there long enough to let the bomb go off, so that's what they did. That's a sacrifice and a half. What's the Godhammer? That's what they call the bomb they blew up Waden with. Don't know much about it other than that. Anything kills a living god? Guess you gotta name it. Let's continue on. Good idea. Remember, see why I think it's should even call himself the Dozens that, not being there then? Yeah, he started the conversation. Chat logs. By saying, we don't, pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of the bridge when the bomb went off. I think...
Hey.
Heritage Hill claims another curious soul. Just move along, I have a long list to get through. Town Crier. I like that it has got opinions about it. It's really nice to have a character that's got a strong opinion about it. Luckily, a side point I want to say, when you first meet Adair, it's like, it's pretty good phrases. He says, like, I'll give him Widewind's welcome. Sorry, a good deer wouldn't welcome. In reference to Wordwin. And you're like, wait, what's the deer wouldn't welcome? Because you're new in town, you're new to this area, you don't know what's going on. He just says, we blew him up. And the delivery is perfect. Mercer probably took 1 billion takes to get it right. And it's just fantastic, right? And it really set that scene immediately that Adair says the place he grew up in, we didn't need to buy a grappling hook, the land in which he grew up in and fought for and fought against his god at some point, he exemplifies them with, we gave him dear wooden welcome. We blew them up. He's a deep and interesting character, and I don't understand how you could go without any of the characters that have that depth and interest, even Durance, especially Durance, and get your other, right? And to get your custom created characters. Sometimes you have to if you want to work. Rebooting. Like the idea seems to not dislike the people who did the Godhammer stuff, despite them exploded his god. Well, he was also fighting a war. He was on the Saints' War against Aethys. He thinks his brother may have changed sides. Exactly. It's also, you could see, especially politically, Waidwin's followers of Raid Ceres were also an invading army, right? They also were doing that. So he must have been really conflicted. Massively conflicted. Um, he still worships Aethys. We know that because we went into the temple of Aethys. He was touched and emotionally affected by the candle. And that takes us essentially up to break time. So I'm just going to quick cheeky save, just in case. And I'm going to alt tab so I can change the scene to break time. Okay, I'm going to mute the microphone. I'll be back in 5 minutes exactly, and we'll be back at 9:05. That's all. I'm glad he's here. Okay, we're back. Thanks for that, everybody. I have game sound back up. I have me in camera shot again. I want to point out to Corey, who mentioned the 1-800-RESPECT line, was counselling and referrals for people who require assistance. I think it's a very important thing to have, and thank you very much for letting us know, Corey. You're a good man. Now we're going to deal with that problem.
Hey.
Well, we can. So let's walk into the house. Mercenary, addict, other mercenary. A couple of crude beds have been improvised from the assortment of padded blankets and pillows. Dribbles of some dark liquid stain the fabric.
All right, then.
Ooh, it's not stealing. Sviff! Failing republics, rising demand. Good Tudor inhaled, near catatonic state. It's interesting. More colourful absence. Colourful accounts who look within themselves and witness the sight of their own soul. Really? Addict is named. That's a good point. Mainly because like these are also mercenaries, referring to that's a very game thing, you know. We're referring to these people by what influence they have over the story. Sometimes peel the labels in these bottles. They're stuffed with a dark, gunky pulp that gives off a pungent odor. Benisk, here you are, surrounded by mercenaries. It's a book of Valian love sonnets with a dedication on the first page to my beloved Cameron. What? Very game thing. It's not great to see. Yeah, absolutely. No arguments there. It's not good.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey.
Just in case the fight breaks out, you know? Mercenary is a job title, at least. Yeah.
How do you do?
The man before you flashes a toothy and rather unpleasant grin. Well now, a new face. Welcome, friend. Name's Pennant, and this, he gestures to the room around you, is my humble abode and place of business. And I do hope you're here to do some business. He glances at the nearby guard. We could go straight with this. Mercenaries paid to do a thing and addict is ill. Yeah, or no longer no longer able to have influence and agency in the world in the way they deserve. Is a good one. Chemical dependency is not a unique thing. Anyway. Perception 12. Seems like a lot of guards for one, man. It must be popular. You always use the perception skill that's an Oxford. Perception and resolve. Remember how many times you got through Edric's Hole just by having high resolve and being like, I'm supposed to be here, screw you. Addict is problem most of the time. Yeah, absolutely. There's a brilliant book on addiction by Johan Hari that I read and listen to every now and then, every few years or so, as a refresher on how addiction and anti-drug laws were primarily formed under political and capitalistic reasons. I recommend reading it, or listening to it. It's a fantastic book. I just think it's not a great topic for right now. The same way that having the NPCs listed as addict and nothing further and not being able to click them and learn anything more about them either, you'd get a line of Ken's description. It sucks that they're dismayed by that, but I also think that filling this house with a lot of unique people would be too much to ask. I hope that there's an option where we don't have to kill everyone in the house, and if we do, we're not taking it, okay? I think that's not fair. Pinsk raises a brow. Sure, right. Very perceptive. This attracts some less pleasant types. Sometimes the clientele get a little bushy, and every so often someone even turns out to be snooping into things that they shouldn't, and lessons have to be taught. His face shivers with a quick, unreadable emotion. I'm sure you're too smart to get wrapped up in all of that, of course. I keep it simple. if you have the coin, I have the spare. Feel free to make use of the premises, so long as you don't do anything stupid. You don't get to tangle with the other customers. Now, what can I get you? Sorry, Corey, my friend. We'll have to talk about it some other time. Maybe, yeah. I also don't like it because I don't have an incredibly nuanced view. I feel like I'm better than the average street person, but I'm by no means an expert, and I have power in the fact that this is a stream and I'm not with the camera and I can talk so I can get things out faster than everyone in chat. So I don't want to hold a symposium on it because it would be pushing my views upon people in a way that is a power imbalance, and don't like it. And I'm not justified in taking that role. I'd much rather defer to Corey. Also, hey Zipsy, nice follow. Glad to have you along. I don't want to give him the ring yet. What is Vef? You serious? Pern skies you with suspicion and disbelief. That's worth every pound, my friend. That's incredible. Let us see your own soul. And you're looking at Defiant Space first and foremost. Vef merchant. Well, let me have a look at your stock. Buy Svef. In a less huge game, Kainra is his partner. She was in the tavern, she's the one with the bruise. In another game, like one that's less huge, would spend more time in the small idiosyncrasies, I would have an option where if you buy everything he has and then fuck off, you get another outcome to the quest. I'm afraid that's not going to happen here. Probably what has happened to Persk House and Copperlane is now. Let's see. We got to give his ring, but we didn't actually give his ring. Give her ring back to him. Well, technically it's his grandmother's, right? I don't think I want to do that yet. Our quest to find out what happened. Let's do it. Mercenary, the guard holds up a hand as you approach. You can turn right back around. Lower floor's all yours, but nobody gets upstairs. Sorry, I'll be going. Enjoy yourself.
I'm on the trail.
Do you think someone could sneak past him?
Hi?
Who's got the high stealth here, right? 0, 2, 7. I think we got those chimes on, huh? So we're in plain sight of these people, so we can't get that stealth bar to go down. Here, it's going down. They're seen by someone, and they've got high perception, so seeing us very quickly. Get that to go down a little bit more. A little bit more. Now, she's in sight, sticking up, she's seen. Told you to quickly think of starting a all the mercenaries enemies. I think let's load a save, everybody. Your mother should be able to sneak past given no one can notice her. I figure at some point that's hey, there's that peasant woman, not the peasant woman that is grieving mother, is there. We will quickly go through the dialogue again. Take some free first. Oh, yeah, exactly. I want to know what's on the side. Maybe we should try and unlock and like pick this and figure out what's going on as well. Maybe that would be a hint. Or maybe we should try and talk our way through. Try to avoid people who link a battle roll with, oh shit, everyone's to kill us. Yeah, we'll see. We've read his dialogue. Perception first. What is Sveth? Let me take a look. Okay, that's good. So let's try this approach first. Our person with high mechanics, stealth in the corner. See, hope no one sees you. You get spotted real quick.
Yes?
And is no longer seen now.
I can do.
Unlocked. It's just 40 golden dukes. Not terrible, worth having. Beautiful, but...
Your thoughts must flow deeply, indeed. Indeed.
It's very hard to get across because Mercenary's code of vision is directly across, and this one's is there. Quick save here. There is a quick save button, I don't remember it. It's probably F5 because a lot of them are. So like, scene. I don't know how to get past here. So let's try and talk our way through. If that doesn't work, we're going to kill a bunch of mercenaries and have probably a very hard fight. But hey, it's the worst that can happen. Oh, okay. Why not? He scowls. You'll be breathing down new holes in your neck if you head up there, that's why. Just mind your own business. What's wrong with the if you're not going to care much where you are anyway? Get out of my way, or I'll break your sword in half and feed it to you at both ends. The cloud blinks and takes a step back. As you like. Godsman, just trying to warn you off. Should be able to bribe him. You're exactly right, rebooting. There is a way through. I think it's just... I want to see how it went. Stealth through. It didn't turn out very well. That's okay. I'm glad that we get to use Slam Shadow's amazing resolve stat to just look him in the eyes and say, you want to let me through because otherwise it will turn out worse for you. It is F5. Thanks, Corey. Let's stealth, and maybe even send a scout who's wearing heavy armor and wielding a greatsword and jingling chimes. See what we can see. There's start hostile. See? We're not supposed to be up here. And the game is telling you in that way, but with that indicator it says, if you get seen, you will be killed. You know? There's no dialogue option here. They're starting as enemies. Scroll of paralysis? Oh, very cool. Slam Shadows, yes please. The white that wins. We're from here! Lore. Sweet, beautiful lore. I like collecting all the books even if I don't read them. I figure if I ever wanted to do a bonus stream or a recording for the YouTube that's YouTube exclusive, I'd just read one or two of the books and go from there. More money! Okay, so we're probably going to start a fight, right? But I want to see if we can just stealth. I seen it very quickly there. The red got filled, so they started moving towards me, but we were able to move out of their range. And they returned to their position. So they're very slowly seeing him here. No, I think we're just going to start the fight, shall we?
Hey.
Put our tank up front. I'm like, oh shit, there's an enemy. No, obviously. But you know what else there is? Missile.
Yeah.
Go! He's pretty wounded. That guy is immediately near death, so we started that fight very well. Let's go with a bit positive AoE.
I'm here.
These guys just gave up on doing any axes. Some shadows.
Let's
Here of us, can you deal with him?
go.
Okay. So, like, depending on, I'm not even saying on tabletop compared to here, Restaurant's key, hell yeah. We're probably going to look bigger anyway. You could beg the question, like, did the people downstairs hear you chanting? Or something else? I don't hate the idea that they didn't, right? I can't believe we failed to put that on. I also hate that you can't drag and drop, you gotta do it in this direction like that. Chanting in a whisper. Yeah, that's possible, we can stand near our comrades and get it off like that. But
Hey.
it's up to you. And I think those sort of decisions should be made on a case-by-case basis. If your players are having a hard night and rolling really poorly and they're not enjoying that challenge, don't say, okay, well, the sound of fighting immediately had people charge upstairs, continue the fight with everyone else. They spent through a lot of effort to bribe or fight their way through downstairs or use that resolve stat to just bypass that fight. Don't take that victory away from them so quickly, unless, you know, your players are masochistic in that way. These jars are chipped and cracked, as if knocked to the ground and set back in place. Corey's got a good point. Maybe they used to be noisy. We have guns, but still. Maybe everyone is a little high on Sveth anyway, so they're not going to react as quickly or at all. Feels like someone rummaged through this uneven row of books in a hurry. Unlock the Rusty Brothers key. Open it up. Who is that? Friends. A man lies, bound and bloody, on the floor before you. His face is a tapestry of bruises, and his blood is splattered across several corners of the room. The man cringes and sobs as you approach. God, please, no more. Please, no more. I can't take any more. I'm not here to hurt you. The man pauses, glancing up at you. You're not? Oh, praise Bereth. You're not one of his men, are you? He glances nervously behind you. Oh no, nuance. He shakes his head. I don't know who you are, but my name is Pernsk. This is my house. You have to help me. Who's that downstairs, buddy? I've already met Pernsk, and I didn't like him very much. An imposter. Some wizard named Nerid. He came into my house, tied me in here, tortured me, and now he and his men are eating my food, breaking my things, selling vet inside my own house. He blinks. Whatever you're holding back, spit it out, or I'll pry it out of you. Prince looks away, unable to meet your gaze. I may have hung on to a tiny portion of my supplier's share, but I needed that money. So you're a theft dealer? Prince winces. Look, I know it's not the best line of work, especially with all that's happened, but it pays well. Very well. And well, people want the stuff, don't they? Not to be a massive hippie, but selling drugs is a very completely different scenario to giving drugs away to people who'd like them. Not to be a massive hippie, but like what? It's a very different scenario. But is it worth all this? Losing Canra? He grimaces. I have to. I'm sorry. I don't have any other trade. Nothing that's going to support us. Someday I'll get out of the business, and we don't need it anymore. I stole 40 golden dukes from downstairs. Then again, that may not be his. Maybe, that wizard's. Bloody wizards, always heading up and ruining things. Okay, so what did your supplier do? He sent over the wizard, Nerid, the man downstairs. He shudders. To make up the lost copper, I guess, and to hurt me while I was at it. It feels like it's been days. What do you need me to do? I can't go out there. Not while he's downstairs. I went to hunt up for the gods for how long. Please, you have to kill him. Maybe I can convince him to leave. He shakes his head. You don't know him, what he's capable of. You'll see soon enough. I feel like Wizard made the operation a lot bigger than Percy was running. Exactly. Gathered sheets and towels and makes his bed. Stiff with blood, almost sweat. Inside over 10 days, spots crimson. Been beaten up his own house. It's like one of these games when you're dealing with a scumbag. I'm getting experience for going through all this, and that's very good because I'd like to hit level 6.
Hey.
I don't want to overwrite what Manku is probably typing right now, but you can distract them with a token because they know they're going to try and kill you. Yeah, that's funny, right? It'd also be a good move. Let's come back downstairs, yeah.
All right, then.
There are a lot of mercenaries in here. We dealt with a few upstairs and it weren't that bad. I really don't want to hurt these addicts. It's not their fault. I don't like that we could say... Personally, I don't like that we could just say straight up, I'm not going to help you, you're a drug dealer.
Your thoughts
and
must flow deeply indeed.
It's kind of shitty, right?
Need something?
Oh well. So you're going to use there,
Sure.
put on the back line next to our 3 casters. You're probably going to get hit real hard by this mercenary. It's a mech, you keep him busy, okay?
Need something?
That should help.
Hey.
Alright. Thank you, Corey, for the quick save tip. Let's talk to Persk. You're back. Anything I can do for you? I found the man who tied up upstairs. No one also claiming to be Persk. To the small falters. That's so? He shakes his head. Shame you had to go digging around, friend. Because now, I can't exactly let you leave, can I? Lo and behold. It would be nice to just go stab, right? Yeah, absolutely. You probably could. That sort of thing would be exemplified by us going, attack, person. And the game has a trigger that says, NPC dead. Best step moved along. Like, wait, hold on. Guards. Oh, wait. Maybe we can come to an arrangement. What do you move? do? Get him, buddy. He's gonna immediately charm this one, who is enraged, and I'm hoping might get that one. Kill him, use a shit bucket. Yeah, I agree, you know, let's do it. And, as we've learned, that's really funny, so let's do that right away. Alos, the pattern we still turned out pretty well. Last time, let's do that again. You're gonna just sing that song, my dude. But it doesn't mean you can't shoot, okay? And Sagani, I'd like you. We don't have the shot that makes someone coming towards you slow, and that would be pretty useful to deal with that. But it was do that Mass Effect exactly. This guy is a exploited drug dealer. Yeah, he's not a fun drug dealer. And there, he's a caster. He's trying to fucking grass here. Let's knock him down as well. Knockdown worked. Isn't it nice when think crits? Pour in for 7 seconds. He's not going to last that long. Barbaro Wizard is exactly right. Let's get that bouncing missile off, and... Friends feels more like a guy who'd be working at a weed joint under legalization. Yeah, decriminalization's better. But yeah, exactly. Sadly, that means there'd be a lot of other people who are arrested. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, stop! He staggers back, holding a bloody hand in front of him. I give up! Just leave, it'll go peacefully, alright? Look at the options! This dialogue starts to say, hey, do you want to spare this guy? And we've got nothing other than say, damn bad. I think, what is supposed to be there? What is that supposed to look like? What scenario where you're like, yeah, okay, cool. Because it's real funny that it's supposed to give you the option and just didn't? Oh. Heravis, I want you to do that healing thing. Rapid regeneration body members. You're not going to get our poor grieving mother who's taking a lot of hits, and I don't know how to help at this stage. This is why I want endurance. Thoughts about certain things being illegal in the Acro tobacco. Yeah, rebooting? I bet a lot of people in the chat do. You're totally right. We just need to tell everyone to keep shooting their fancy weapons or they'll stop. And unpause. Did successfully charm one, I think, as well. Grieving Mother is again pretty winded. Let's go recover a bit of endurance as much as we can. Heal still hasn't gone off, it's about to, but it's a regen, so we're not even going to get the full effect. Do your AoE stun, buddy. It's not a stun, AoE damage. Maybe you can do a bit of fear. Maybe that could help keep Grieving Mother alive a little bit longer. In the meantime, let's do that. Aleph, that spell did pretty good, buddy. Pretty pleased. I think now, just do some AoE damage like that, okay? This went off. We did it. There's spam. Hey, you went endurance over a couple seconds. Nice. But we still can't help our friend Grieving Mother. Violet Storm of Ice. Thin bolts of lightning, shock damage. Easier to hit enemies. You're still out of range for it. Vile Thorns. Piercing damage will hurt our friends. We're still looking through our endurance spells. What was it? Burst of someone. No, that could hurt our friends too. There was something he could do. Stag's Horn? No, that's not an AoE. Insect Form, I think it was. This only hurts our enemies. Let's drop that. Throw some bees on our friends. She's holding up okay. She's been knocked down, that's why. Use second wind. Move forward a little bit and then pull off that. Oh, second wind keeps her up.
Hey.
Leave it to me.
Let's finish off the last mercenary, shall we? Excellent work, everybody. Utimac, the good little fox, dealt with it.
Hey.
No experience for killing humans. And the addicts are okay. Free spellbook. Some fine robes that aren't really enchanted, so not worth it. And a bunch of coin. Cool.
All right then.
Good job, everybody. That was a good combat. Oh, another Great. This is not going to go well for you, buddy. Yeah. Flame Shadows shot him and crit for 33 piercing damage and dealt with him very quickly. You guys okay? Okay. There's another one around the corner? Huh? No one can see a steal now. So, whoops! Pistol shot, immediate, like... Guns in a fantasy setting are slightly more interesting because they don't have the baggage of how they've... They don't have as much baggage on how they've rapidly harmed so much of the world here. Yeah, no conversation with the addicts. Again, like, if they did, they would be given names. Another video gamey thing, but that's all you got. Is it done? Is he dead? Yeah. You didn't hear it? I guess you can't hear things through the floorboards. I can't believe this nightmare is finally over. Ingrid's Weekly seems to remember something. You have no idea what you've done for me, but... He looks up at you in a way again. I need to find my love, Kainra. Only after what Nereid put her through, I'm afraid she won't give you a chance to explain. She might listen to you. Please, she must be somewhere in Copper Lane. It's the only home she's known. We know where she is. Please, don't tell her about this about what I do. I can make it worth your while. A discount, maybe. You fucking idiot. Do not underestimate your wife. First of all, she knows what you're doing. Not yet, hang on. Yeah, you just wait up here. Buddy, she knows exactly, Luxie. So I think perhaps you trust her to make her own decisions rather than lie to her. I know, and I can't force you to keep the secret. I just don't want to lose her. After what happened here, I'm sure she won't have anything to do with Sveth, or me if she finds out. You need to stop dealing drugs if your wife doesn't want you to. She sent me here in the first place. She did? That woman helped save my life without realizing it. Please bring her home and tell her everything is back to normal. Hey chat, 102. Like, we will definitely go talk to her. I don't know if the lie is, sure, I'll go do that, and I will keep your lie. Or if that lie is, I will leave you here and not talk to her. Whatever the game thinks that is, we will go talk to her anyway. That's just something we're doing. We're choosing between that. One, because it doesn't make you lie when you do talk to her. Yeah, that's true. Just a little bit more time. If we're afraid that the lie suggests we won't go actually talk to her, then feel free to vote for one. We will definitely go talk to her anyway. It would very much suck if it's like... Yeah, okay. I'm happy to take one then. We've got an overwhelming majority. I can't take you enough, truly. I've missed my poor Kainra. Yeah, like, you should miss her, but you gotta recognize that this is your fault. And the way forward is to go, this thing I was doing, which while it gave us some money, largest home in a nice city, you can't do it anymore, dude. Not an option. A whole house is cleared out. That's also very video gaming. I don't know where they've gone. At least we know for a fact they're not dead, right? It's all back to normal. Yeah, their relative normal was having a drug house. And she doesn't want to live in a drug den, and that's fine. I'm thinking we'll talk to the market stalls soon and see if we can gear up Grieving Mother with some more armor. She needs it. Here's the rub, right? Do we let Pernsk get away with dealing drugs and reinforce his lie? However, the real Pernsk also deals theft. I don't think there's 11 maker. I know what you mean. Let me tease gently, I promise. I don't honestly think anyone's going to vote for 2. Corey Light is a joke, but I am going to veto and go, one, she needs to make the informed decision, right? I hope that she goes back and tells them no more Sveth dealing, we're going to sell a couple of things, and then you're going to become another merchant. But we'll see how it turns out. She deserves to know. She covers her mouth with a hand shock. Pensk? My Pensk is a Sveth dealer? If I didn't know you for an honest man, because we have the honest reputation at 1. Sometimes we may need it higher. She brings her fist down on the table, sloshing a drink. Damn it. How can I trust him with something like this? He's lied to me for so long. She runs her hands through her hair and takes a deep breath. I should just be glad I found out about this before the wedding. They're not even married. They're just engaged. That's mean. Okay. Here's a better, more nuanced choice. They're not all great, but I'm glad it wasn't just a lie or don't lie. We're allowed to influence her in some way. And I would like to know what Chad thinks. And I'm going to give you... If you hate all of them, 5 is relatively decent. You got about a minute from here. Help him if you happen to it. She clearly doesn't like Sveth. Sveth. One is 2 in his favor. Yeah, I agree, Loxy. It's like, yeah, forgive him for everything. And 2 is he still loves you, so you have to sublimate yourself to it. I don't like that much. 3 is like, that's not wrong, you know. He was dealing in a black market substance without telling you. He stiffed his supplier, so a bad thing happened. That's just not being sensible. It's showing bad judgment. And do you really want to be with someone who has really incredibly bad judgment to the point where you get harmed? He clearly loves her. That's not enough by itself. Has he said he's sorry? Not to us. He may to her. We may not know. We need to take a couple of things on faith. Again, he needs to earn the forgiveness. Yeah. We won't be here to see that happen. We're adventurers, we've got to travel on. This kind of makes me feel like a Dogs in the Vineyard style game. We're in here to solve a particular problem for the people that believe in whatever faith, or we are invested in some sort of power for community. We're told to fix this problem. We have to come up with a solution. We're the arbiters of that final decision. But boy, is it not an easy decision. Dogs in the Vineyard is a great tabletop game. My friends, a lot of people are saying 1 and 5 are their least bad options. We need to choose between 1 or 5. I am going to vote for 5 unless someone speaks up in 30 seconds. Okay? Five is fine. Thank you, rebooting. Sorry, Loxy. Your internet died. It's a shame. At least you can catch up on the VOD. 5. So am I. Thank you for telling me the truth. That's very important. Oh, and take this. Chen clasped something from around her neck. Picked it up from one of the merchants to help me stand firm in my decision. I'll be fine without it now. Unwavering resolve added to inventory. 1,630 experience gained. Quest complete. We do not know how this ends. She's moved on. Taxes collected. Lost 73 XP to bandits. Earned 386. We've got taxes? I was on such a high horse about that, shouldn't I? Just a minute, no idea about why 2 is even shittier than 1. Someone who can scroll up without alt-tabbing will may need to answer that one
Well,
for me.
whatever happens, at least we're out of that mud hole, Gilded Vale.
Oh, Ella.
I grew up in Gilded Vale.
Oh, Ed.
Quaint. That's what I meant to call it.
Oh, Ella.
You had it right.
Oh, Ed. I'm just going back because I want to go see if this guy's back to his old tricks, or if he's a huge jerk, or what. What did we learn, Pernsk? Oh, you're back in the same dealing room. Pernsk coughs as you approach. His cheeks are hollow and his eyes are red. Hello again. I have some goods here if you want to buy. Just them. Who cares, man? That's how it ends. She leaves him, he's worse off, and continues dealing drugs, so there's no one there hanging out anymore, so he doesn't even have any friends. What did we get for the whole endeavor? Of intellect 2, of result 1! Oh my god, amazing. Max endurance bonus. I've just already got one. Okay. So, I just want to check. +2 from wavering resolve. Like, 2 intellect and 1 resolve is very good. Very good indeed. I know I got 6 the Pilgrim's Lasting Vigil, so it's not stacking with the Pilgrim's Lasting Vigil. Resolve of Perception. So we can lose 1 in Perception, put Resolve on someone else, but I think we should keep it where it is. That's my opinion. We are wasting 1 Resolve, but that's not terrible, I say. Because who else would use Perception? Probably Sagani. Get an extra crit modifier on it. It's a Resolve. 10. Perception, well, so like, I think raise it to 18. And then we'd lose 1 perception on Slam Shadows. These sort of things I'm not super good about thinking. You know? I don't think we have perception. We'd lose 1. Let's leave it. Let's leave it for now, okay? Sorry, everybody. I hate to theory craft while people are watching. Laura!
Well and well met.
A young woman stands by a cart, watching the crowd with large, bright eyes that focus on you as you approach. Take your time, driver. If you're looking for enchanted scrolls or garb, come to the right place. Merchants! Seal of Faith. Extra spell uses for priests. Eat. Expensive. Eat. Tilda's Ring. Extra spell uses for wizard. Not quite as good, but extra 4th level spell? Very cool. 8,000. Quite a lot of our money, maybe not worth it yet. Extra deflection. Extra saves. Not terrible. Keep that in mind. Maybe we can get make Aloth even better. Ooh, while we're at it. Add some spells. Aim. Spirit Shield. And Mirror Image. Not a bad idea. Shiny rocks, very fancy rocks. I don't think since Sagani wearing a cloak here, this is not have a neck slot item. I'm just giving him slightly extra insurance.
Hey.
Nama, what do you have for us?
Traveler.
Well, Matt Traveler, are you interested in purchasing any rations for your journeys? Dragon meat, where did you get that? Dragon egg. Not very useful.
Alright then.
What about this? Peregrine. Hello again. Familiar turn. Thanks for visiting my store. We're trying to recover from losing that cargo. My inventory isn't what it used to be. Hopefully get some relax. Yeah, but you're a dick about it, Peregrine. Sure, I'm glad we didn't spend all that money, compromise our values on, getting a cheaper set of traps. Good night, Gibbled. Thanks for joining.
Hail and well met.
Time to take a look. I'll find a fine armor of Legendary Defiance Bay. It's outside Stonewall's, of course. Let's back about Stonewall. Good night, Gibbled. Shop rates in Expedition Hall. Sells the best equipment in the city. The Atlantic keeps on a short leash. Keeps a fine inventory reserved chartered expeditionists, members of the dozens, and anyone else who takes a liking to. What do you have for sale? Cool warbow. Damage restored his endurance. Neat. Extra accuracy. Attacks and stun on crits. That's cool shit. Tempting. Very expensive. Yep, new unique scepter. Not bad. Not an incredible amount of damage. 11 to 18. What's Alice's current scepter? 11 to 15. So it's a minor damage upgrade, but it's extra accuracy when you're wounded. He gets wounded a lot. I don't think it's that worth it. Doesn't lay to cast other things, right? Plus 3. Nice spear. Weapon reach is pretty cool. With Shadow Star. Unique one. +1 enemy engage. So that might be useful and our good friend Eora. But his sword's pretty cool at the moment. Pike's Parade. Minus stun duration, 50% knockdown duration. Less stats would be pretty cool. DS7. What do you currently have? DR10 for hand and key. Loyal fine. No, well, probably best she stays in what field. Done in demon. +2 intellect for a weird looking hat. That's not terrible. We should consider that. It's for 3,000. Get extra AoE. Private. Thank you. We're just collecting these because I don't know if you can have too much. What we're looking for is something to keep our 30 seconds to get your hotspotting from your phone. Oh well. Meat! Generic meat. We're looking for things specifically to keep Greedy Mother alive because she's a little fragile. What's in this? It's just like this is a city. This is what role-playing games are about in cities. You go in everyone's home and see if they need help. If you do, you argue about drug dependency for a while. Langdon, Dirty Rigbit, and Daisy. Right, everyone knows the plan? Up the wall and in the window. Grab the jewel for the pretty little lord. We got it. Listen, dwarf, if I have to... Langdon, we got company. Hi, everybody! Dwarf eyes you suspiciously and hides his pistol behind his back. You are looking for someone, because this isn't the best. Langdon rounds to the dwarf. Idiot, they're probably with the Crucible Knights. You made a grave mistake coming here. He raised his blade. If an enemy has attack on sight, it is at least a little cool to let them talk through a bit of their cool plan first as to why they're attacking on sight. But it's still a enemy that attacks on sight. That kind of sucks. Hey, ranged people, let's deal with Dirty Rigbit, shall we? Still there. Extra bit of damage for Dirty Rigbit. Also, A+ name on Dirty Rigbit. That's cool as hell, right? Gone to the wrong house, have to do 3 murders. They started it. I say, in a defense it's not very good at all. Spear damage over to Daisy, okay? Jesus. 18. 40 corrode damage? God. It's been nice being a wizard. No wonder we invented guns to deal with the ability to just... that, you know? Magic is scary. I feel like my friend Wormwood's, I'm using his screen name, and he's very often like not hatred, but like he sides with people who are against magic. He's got half a point a lot of the time because it's terrifying. Chief Litter. Contact inside Raymont Manor will leave a second-story window ajar. He's confirmed the location of the heart of the White March in a hidden chamber. Get your crew together and head to Brackenbury before Lord Raymond moves the jewel. A.D. Cool. 2-story job. Tell somebody about the plot. I like that lead song there. It'd suck if it didn't, right? Okay, cool. You killed some dudes, you learn about a plan, that's it. You're done. Moonstone, more golden ducks. Why? Gotta read them though. Long jagged tears slice across the garden scene of his painting. A few bedrolls and spare tunics are bundled in the corner. Moonstone, shiny rock, good. Yeah, nice to have you along, folks. I hope you have a very good night. Turn 5. We completed a quest, so a turn happened. We're still building. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, finished in 3 hours.
Of course. I want to see what I can do.
Thank you, Ella.
Work of a moment.
Yeah, Warbow, more copper pans. I like being rich. It's fun. Loot! Ah, jeez, I'm glad we finally activated scouting. I've forgotten so often. I wonder if that could have some plot significance. And the people are dropping off because I need to head off to sleep. It is late. It is Monday night. We are finishing in about 9 minutes, so thanks for joining us all this time. If you have any last minute questions you want to ask the Professor about role-playing games or Pillars of Eternity in general, well, now's the time. Muddy bit prints and splotches of ale stain the bed sheet. Rude. Rude. Thundered road. Oh, with it. Whoops.
Ready, Watcher.
Hey,
There's a huge bed. Jealous? I am. That'd be nice. Only someone can keep, like, the feet off. Expedition Hall. Let's give it his dormitory. All revealed mystery. First fires in that direction. Catacombs and Brackenbury. We will go there. That'll be fun. So, let's go to Expedition Hall and maybe finish up there for the night. Huh? Maybe a little early. We'll talk for a little bit. Admeth's Den. What's that? Fields been long battered and scarred in long ago battles. Genius. That guy's probably got insufferable text behind him. Let's not read it. Good timing then, Emma. You tell me nearly finished because
All fancy weapons and no skill.
good characterization on that. Love them.
hey.
These are more mercenaries, and we killed several of them earlier, so I don't have much respect. Okay, save some game. So, a couple of times tonight, I did shout out to some people like Dead Man's Tea Party and Full Security. They both do streams. Full Security is worth following because she doesn't follow the same schedule each week. Sorry, doesn't follow the one game a week on the same night every time. She's streaming often, streaming a lot of art and creation and creativity work, as well as some really good video games played with groups. Exceptionally fun. Absolutely worth tuning in. I'm going to close Billers here. Also want to shout out to Dead Man's Tea Party. It's a fun stream going through. Art is incredible. Exactly, Luxy. I do like her stuff. And so I think it's worth shouting out to other people who are doing really good work on Twitch and having a great time doing it. Not just because I know them in person, but it's really enjoyable to spend some time having a bit of a different stream. I'm really enjoying my time here every Monday night going through Pillars. I'm glad we're able to set aside like 3 hours, which is a relatively long gaming session. That's why we have a break, because you got to stand up and stretch every two, right? But it's one of the things I'm looking forward to each week the most, chatting with all of you guys and seeing the world, exploring it together. It's just been a delight. So thank you very much. It's maybe why I keep suggesting we remember to share with people, because the funny things we do are great fun. I love when people get involved and take a look through and have some sort of agency in the game. And when we have a lot of people doing that, it could be even more fun when we're discovering new, different things, different opinions. We get more discussion happening in chat. That could be great. It's expand and grow, not for the sake of growth, but to create that sort of group experience. And as the games get more complicated as we go on, I hit through Pillars into the other acts and discovering more things about the world as it goes on. And into Pillars of Eternity 2 in Deadfire, where we will have to make a very big and important decision near the end of the game. It'd be great to have as many voices as possible. I have stakes. I'm concerned, and I am aware that at some point it may feel like your individual voice is being less appreciated, and that would suck. I hate to say that will and possibly has already happened, and that's also why I keep saying I'd like anyone to message me and talk about it. And you can always get to me on Twitch at at Prof. Jimbles. We can talk about the game, and I'll tell you about other paths and how I felt at particular choice points, and I'm available all through the week. And we can talk about what the game itself and anything else you've been thinking, because it's just fun to talk villas, and that's why we're doing it. We're sharing this experience. I keep checking chat here. Feel less like you're talking too much and more on chat. Rebooting you and Luxy, you're definitely not talking too much. Not to get too much on a soapbox, but the people who are concerned about talking too much, taking up too much space, are rarely those who are. Um, and that's only a reassurance you can tell another person. When you tell yourself that, you're like, well, shit, now I'm starting to fall into that camp of people who are talking too much. Because it's not like even the very loud people who say things don't have self-doubt. Of course they do. Everyone does. And they may just react to it and express it in a different way. Have the anxiety. Yeah, same. Big earlier tonight. So I had a coffee and it totally helped. So I'm happy to provide the reassurance and say, no, you're not talking too much. Totally enjoyable. Your presence is appreciated. It's good. The chatting is part of it. I don't feel like you're edging anyone out. No one is. And that's why we have mods to say, hey, don't be a jerk. And I'm happy to say that I've felt no need to tell anyone off yet. And I would have no hesitancy in doing that if we need to. Mako, you're talking and it's good. Sorry. So I have empowered the people I trust to continue helping keep people safe. I can't guarantee there won't be like hard topics and things for discussing. We just walked into a drug debt, right? But I would want that uncomfortable feelings, if there are any, to be in a space about the game rather than in chat or in community. You know, that's worth it. It's a similar line to how we ran the podcast. You know, there were spaces that would give content warnings, and I need to do a little bit of editing, but I will. I'll be putting content warnings in the descriptions of the YouTube videos when they go to YouTube, because just why not, right? I will edit the one with about Cade Noir for, well, sexual assault, you know, and we'll put it up there and make sure that people are forewarned. But I probably wouldn't have thought of that if chat didn't mention it, so perhaps give yourself a pat on the back for doing that. So we've had a bit of rambling. We had a bit of an adventure. I really enjoyed our time tonight, and I really enjoyed sharing that time with all of you. So I hope to see you again next week. Thank you very much. And shout out to everyone in the VODs. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're joining us as well. Um, just because you're not live with us doesn't mean you're not enjoying the game at the same rate and to the same experience we are as well. Feel free to also message you whenever you figure it out, and if you want to tell us how you felt in a particular moment, you can just send a quick send a quick message via Twitch, yes, or via Twitter at prof_Jimbles, and remember to share those experiences with other people, because that's what this world is for, finding good things and sharing them with everyone. And on that note, I think I'll cheer everyone and say have a good nap tonight. We'll see you next week. Good night, everyone. Oh, thanks for bidding. Night game. Sorry, Night the Golem King, who I totally don't know.